Little bit of an experiment here, an unplanned stream. I don't think there's anybody in it at the moment. 4 people, no comments yet though. Very casual, Sunday lunchtime here in Bangkok. No green screen, cup of coffee. Oh, we've got a few people coming in, that's good. Who we got here? Andy, how are you doing? Good to see you. I know there's a few streams on today. I don't know who's on and what time, but I had a bit of a rough night last night. I went out to Pat Pong. I never go out to Pat Pong, but I did last night. And yeah, I just thought I'd do a little experiment. I've got my wife beaten vest on. I've got no green screen up. It's a little bit dark here. I've got one light here, but it's not that great. And yeah, I wasn't sure if anybody had come into the stream, but yeah, nice to see a few of you coming in. I don't know how long this will go on for. It's just... yeah, I hope you can hear me with this mic. Right, it's interesting to see who's coming in at this time of the day, because normally I do it in the evening in Bangkok. You know, I do 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So right now in Bangkok, it's 1:15. And I know there's some Pattaya YouTubers streaming later on. I'm not sure what time. But let's have a chat. Let's see what's going on. I'll tell you about last night. I nearly had a fight in the 7-Eleven 3 days ago because of some arsehole, some northern guy. Nothing against northerners, but he was pissed and he started on me. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Wow, we've got 50 people. That's fantastic. So, right, let me say hi to a few people. Robster, early live. How you doing? Go for Dan. New name there. Michael Ward, Sweaty Club. Farang Travels, good morning, everyone. Bangkok Jimmy. Jesus, Pete, you're up early. Well, it's not actually early here, Jimmy. It's 1:15. I've already done all my washing in the machine, hung it out. I've cleaned the apartment. Look, this is what you never see. Look, this is my apartment here. Look. No view out the window, bit of greenery, but I don't have any view at all. Nice, cheap apartment, but no view, and a little bit dark. But yeah, it's not that early here. Let me just try and get some brightness up on this somehow. Well, that's brightening it for me. I can't get rid of this glare on the glasses either. Anyway, right, never mind that. Right, Robster, hi, how you doing? You're in Pattaya. How's Pattaya at the moment? Is it still busy? Still high season, isn't it? Another 3 weeks yet, and it'll start to go off. LBC Los Angeles here. How you doing, LBC? No name. Hey, Tommy Keeley. Good morning from Ireland. Ireland. So what time is it in Ireland? So you're 7 hours behind. So it's 1:15 here. So it's 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Oh, wow. You're up early. Good morning to you. Hope you got a cup of coffee like I have. Cheers. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Pat Pong last night because I went out. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this idiot who really made my blood boil the other night, but I restrained myself. And you just got to watch out for these guys. You know, when you come out here, it's all casual, it's all good fun, but you've only got to bump into one of these guys. He must have been on holiday, because guys who live out here don't behave like that. Actually, guys who are on holiday don't behave like that. He was just a typical like idiot you leave the UK to get away from. You know, the sort of guy you see walking along the street and you just don't want anything to do with him. You know, it's nothing to do with snobbery. He's just right. Who else we got? Let me put that name up there. I don't know if I can pronounce that. Is that Jagath Fernando? How you doing? I'm absolutely amazed that there's 75 people in this stream. I mean, I've just thought I'll go live. I'm sitting here with a cup of coffee, semi-hungover. I went out with Edward last night. Edward's the guy who's just moved out here. Darren Drew, how you doing? Morning from the UK. Nice and early for you, Darren. Michael Ward, nice little surprise. Stephen Roberts, hi from Nakhon C. Oh, what's that last word? How do I pronounce that? Yeah, I'll put it up. You can make your own minds up. Thamarat, yeah. So normally I'm not this bleary-eyed. You know, when I do a stream, it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and I've been up all day, but you can see it's like, you know, the morning after the night after, as they say. Thank you, Golfer Dan. Michael Ward, 29th in Pattaya. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully still busy down there. Stephen says, what is the best place to go in Thailand? Depends what you're into, Stephen. It's like asking how long is a piece of string, really. I mean, if you're into the girlies and the nightlife scene, obviously it's Pattaya. And if you're into a laid-back beach, maybe Koh Samet, something like that. Trip on Two Wheels. Hey, Big Daddy. Don, 1560. How are you doing? Dennis Bolton. Hi from Alberta. You are the second viewer that we have in from Alberta. Jim comes from Alberta. I think it's Alberta, something similar. How are you doing anyway? Jason Finch, hey. Right, Bangkok Jimmy. Back to Pat Pong. Has it returned to its glory days? Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about Pat Pong. So I personally don't like Pat Pong. I just feel that it's had its day. Um, you know, when I first arrived here in the early 90s, Patpong was a great place to go, and it was still kind of the head of the entertainment places. I mean, Nana was just kind of coming up. Nana was a shopping center basically when I arrived, but it had a few bars and it was coming up slowly. Cowboy is what it's always been, and Patpong used to be really great. So of course, when the pandemic hit, it closed everything, and I came back. If you remember, I came back in December, just when we were allowed to come in, when we had that Thailand pass stuff going on. And who's this? Jason. Let me just tell him I'm on a live stream. I'm on a live stream, Jason. Hopefully he'll come in. Okay. So, yeah. So I come back just on the Thailand pass, and it was so sad because Nana Plaza was open and so was Cowboy, but the bars were closing at 9 p.m. back then in the grim days, 2.5 years ago. And I remember going down to Patpong, and I met my friend Simon, and because everywhere else was open, we thought it'd be open down there, limited, and it was just like eerie. Really, there was nothing open. Patpong, one where the market is, was completely dead. And I went down there a couple of times after that, and it just seemed to have died a death, and it looked like it was never coming back. So I went down there last night just for a look. Really, there's a couple of bars down there that aren't too bad, but generally I don't really like the place. But I thought I'll go down and do my bit for YouTube, as it were. And I just put a 1-minute clip. If you want to see what it's like, I put a 1-minute clip up last night. You can go and have a look at that. And yeah, I mean, it was really quiet, but it all seems to be open. Like the market's back, but I'd say 75% of it is market and 25% of it is like they've built a kind of beer garden that runs through the middle, like at one end with food and stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, I bought a I bought a Rolex last night. I mean, I was drunk, okay, but I bought that last night. That was how much did I pay for that? He wanted 4,500 baht, and I paid 2,500 baht. I don't think I'll ever wear it here in Thailand. I mean, because people know, but it's quite. I actually wanted the real one of this. I think that's why I bought it. I'm trying to get it to focus. Hang on. Yeah. So I don't. You get all these watches down there, and the problem is with the Rolexes. Some of them look really stupid because what they do, they're done in kind of fake gold, and they put these glass bits around the outside of it. It's supposed to look like diamonds, but they look so fake. It's ridiculous, right? But the reason I bought this one is because it's the real one. I actually wanted to get it. And this is actually stainless steel, but it's not got a battery in it. That's the main reason I bought it. It's perpetual movement, because a lot of the fakes have got batteries in them. And this is actually a perpetual movement like the real ones. So I'm still messaging Jason. Let me just get rid of that. And I don't know if he's in yet. I've checked the comments a bit. Yeah, so it's perpetual motion. So it cost me about, what's that, 2,500 baht. It cost me about, let's say 55, 60 quid. But I just bought it because, I don't know, I was half cut at the time. And I thought, I always wanted the real one of those. And yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, if people wrote to me and said it's probably got a Seiko movement inside, I think it's actually got a Japanese movement inside. But, if it breaks down in a couple of months, it doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world, is it? Just get rid of this. So in answer to your question, Jim, Bangkok Jimmy, yeah, I mean, it just didn't feel the same. Although the market was fully open, there was lots of things to buy. Which go-go bars did I go in? So I went in the 3 Kings Group bars. The Kings groups, they're quite close to each other. So they were dead, I mean, it's really weird because it was Saturday night. I was there about 11 o'clock. And Ed, who's with me, he'd never been to Patpong. That was the main reason why we went down there. And I said, well, look, okay, we'll go and have a look at the Kings Group bars, because generally they're the ones that are busy. And we went in Kings 1. There must have been 4 Japanese guys in there and some guy who looked like he was just lost, right? And then we went into Kings 2. That, again, half a dozen people, nothing special. But the one thing I did like is the girls weren't hardcore. In the old days in Patpong, you'd walk in and they'd just surround you and you'd feel claustrophobic. It's like, get away sort of thing. And they didn't, I mean, we went in, we sat down. Quite a lot of girls on stage, some of the girls on chairs. Actually, they sat facing us, but they didn't try to put their hand out, hello, where you from, none of that. So that was quite good. And then we went to, I'll tell you my favorite place down there that was quite busy was, the Pink Panther. It's right at the end. And what they do boxing. It's amazing, actually. So it's a go-go bar, and you've got all these kind of raised little mini stages with these girls dancing. You're sitting there. It's like a regular go-go bar. And then at 10:30, they take away all these kind of pedestals where the girls stand. They actually build a Thai boxing ring in the middle of the go-go bar. And you think, so it's all going to be put on. It's all going to be an act. But it wasn't. I mean, they go hell for leather. I mean, it's pretty good, quite good. Right, okay, if you've just joined us, hi, thanks for joining me. I haven't been up long. I've just cleaned my apartment, made a cup of coffee, and I thought I'll go live just to see if anybody's out there. I won't be on too long. We've been 10 minutes already. Wow. Jason, how are you doing? Jason Finch. Hugh asks, hi, Peter. I'm on the plane arriving in Bangkok in 30 minutes for a 2-week vacation. Wow. Oh, so you've actually, you've got Wi-Fi on the plane. Thai Airways, it's going to be Thai Airways or Eva if you direct. So, yeah, okay. Well, give me a shout when you get here. If I'm free, I'll hook up with you. Jason, where's Marley? It's Marley, not Molly. Marley's really busy. You know, she gets contacted for a lot of work, but I'm not using her as much as I was in the past. The idea to bring Marley in was to try and boost the numbers a little bit, and I thought she brought something to the channel, and she does to a point, and I haven't kind of let her go, as it were, but she's busy, and I've decided I'm just going to do a video now and again with her, because the videos are done with her. They don't get great numbers, and you know, her English isn't great. It's hard to communicate, and there's a lot of editing because she makes a lot of mistakes, which isn't her fault. But she's still around. Mark Robert, hello from sunny Pom Pong. Okay, Toby Price, I like Pat Pong. It's retro. Yeah, it's, you know, what's really interesting. I'm glad I went to see it before it closed down. Was the Pat Pong Museum opposite Foodland. It was really good, and the owner, something's happened with him. And it's been closed down for a few months. I didn't go around last night to see if it was open, because it'd be open in the daytime, actually, not the night. But I went to the Pat Pong Museum when I just come back after COVID, and it's really good. They've got like a life-like bar inside, like a beer bar, and you go in. It's like a beer bar from the 70s, and they got like a girl in a full-piece swimmer suit dancing like a hologram, which is really good. And then you've got various pieces around the museum, like you've got the Bernard Trink wall. Bernard Trink was a famous, before the days of the internet, if you wanted to know what was going on in Bangkok, you get the Bangkok Post. I think it was every Friday night, and Bernard Trink had a page in there called The Night Owl. And like I say, this was before the internet, when the internet was very new. And so if you wanted to know what clubs were open or what promotions were going on, you go to Bernard Trink's page. And Bernard Trink was a guy who actually gave Soy Cowboy its name, because there was a guy. A little bit of history here. There was a guy, he was an ex-American Air Force. He wasn't a pilot, but he was Air Force, Vietnam and all. He came over here and he opened a bar in the 70s, 71, I think. TJ Hooker, something like that his name is. And he always wore a cowboy hat. So when Bernard Trink used to go around and do the rounds to see what promotions, what go-go bars are doing, he used to call him Cowboy, you know, cowboy, because of the hat, and the name stuck, hence Soy Cowboy. Okay. Who else we got in here? Greetings, Stephen O'Connor. Greetings from Pompey. I've done that one, yeah. Ben Manila, is it Manila? Yeah. Hey, Peter. Good morning from Soy 31. Looking forward to meet you. I think we have a lot of mutual friends in Pattaya. Phil, the pub among them. Yeah, Phil's a nice guy. You know, when I go to Pattaya now, I make a point of dropping into Phil's place. That's on Soy Diamond. It's a little place. His girls are friendly. It's not too pushing. It kind of feels like a little bit of a home from home, if that makes sense. I believe he mentioned me in his stream last night. Right, who else we got in? Uncle Nene, how you doing? Hello, Peter, from the middle of the night in the USA. Okay. You know, one of the other reasons, you know, I've cut the live streams down to every 2 weeks, because it's really difficult doing it every week and coming up with fresh content. You know, the guys who do it in Pattaya, I watch it. It's a very polished show. You know who I'm talking about, right? They've got cameramen, and they've got, you know, the girls sitting out the front, and there's two of them, and they're bouncing off each other. And, you know, it's a lot easier to do a stream. But when you're sitting in an apartment like this on your own, and you're trying to talk for 3 hours, and you have to do it every week, it's really difficult. It really is. And not only that, I don't know if you've noticed, I'm able to put out a lot more videos now because I'm not doing so many live streams. But something like this is great. You're up early, Rob. How you doing? Morning, Peter. Sitting at the airport taxi rank, waiting for my first job and counting down the days before my flight in just over 3 weeks. I can't imagine sitting on a taxi rank right now, but you've got to make a living, haven't you? And it's good money, but you'll be out of here soon. Jingjo, hi from Pakistan. Wow. Didn't know I had any viewers in Pakistan. How you doing? Fun Cart Media. Happy New Year, Pete. Yeah, Happy New Year. Let's talk about that. Happy New Year. So I went out on the river, right? The Chapel River. And I went on the something Princess, I can never pronounce it. Cheapo Princess. That was the boat, okay? So I was really lucky because a viewer paid for my ticket to go out. He's just a viewer. He comes out here. I've met him a few times. Young American guy called Jesse. And he said, look, Peter, come on the boat with us. I'll buy you a ticket. And it wasn't about buying the ticket. I could have bought my own ticket. But it was very generous. It was 4,500 baht. When we were on the boat, it was a 4-hour cruise that stopped for the fireworks. It was fantastic. It was really, really good, but I would never do it again. Why? Because it was like a scene from a Crush movie. You know, they closed all the doors in Icon Siam except one to go outside. And you must have had, without exaggeration, so there's probably about 10 or 12 boats. Each boat has about 400 to 500 people on it. Okay, and they all finished after midnight. So you're talking 5,000 people probably, right? Coming off the boats, okay? On top of that, they had a concert on just outside Siam, between the water and the back entrance to Siam. And it was terrible, absolutely terrible. There's no other word for it. When we got there, fights actually broke out in Siam in the ground floor between security and people pushing. We were literally crushed like this. You couldn't move, you know? And it was reminiscent of one of these movies where people get crushed to death, and it's quite claustrophobic. So going in, it was hot, it was stifling, we were sweating, you know, back was dripping with sweat. There was a group of us, and it was awful. But once we got on the boat, it was fantastic. You know, they did a really nice buffet, really nice seafood and some Italian food, Thai food. 4 hours on going up the river, everything's lit up, the Grand Palace and everything. And then the fireworks go off at 12 o'clock. And because it's where all the 5-star hotels are, like the Sheraton and the Shangri-La, and all the different boats are there, and the government put on fireworks here and somebody else puts on there, you're not looking at one fireworks show. You're looking at basically a fiesta of fireworks. It really is spectacular. It's words can't really describe it. So it was absolutely fantastic. Then we get to the end that you have to wait while the boats come in one at a time or two at a time, whatever. And you know what? Never again. It took us from 12:15. I got home. Now it's a half an hour from my house, right? It took me, I didn't get home till 4 a.m. because firstly, it was just crush all the way out. To get from the boat to just where the pavement is behind Siam took us ages. And then there was a concert going on. And I said to Jesse, just keep your fingers and toes crossed that this concert doesn't end while we're here in the middle. What happened? Good night, thank you, Sawadee Cab. The guy bowed, the music and lights went off. Another few thousand people were going for that one door. It was absolute hell. Anyway, eventually, after about an hour, we got out onto the street. So they kept the BTS and the MRT open until 2 a.m. And we thought, no problem. We'll go up, take the Gold Line, do one stop, and that will eventually come back to Nana. Forget about it. Went upstairs, top of the escalator, absolutely a sea of people. There must have been 500 people like waiting for tickets, and you couldn't see the pavement. So we just thought, forget it. Out the other side, we couldn't get a taxi. We walked for miles and miles. We must have walked 5 miles. And eventually I got one by myself because we're in a group and like people were slowing down and waiting for this one, and they were stopping and talking. And I was absolutely exhausted, sweating. And I said, look, guys, I'm going to make my own way because there was 5 of us. And I thought, you know, we're going to have to get 2 taxis anyway. And I was really lucky because as I was walking not far, there was a taxi driver loading water into his boot. And I said to him, can you take me to Sukhumvit? He's like, no, I finished. I started in the morning. That's my wife. I'm going to take her home now and everything. And I actually slipped on the curb. And in the end, he said, oh, and I offered him 500 baht. You know, I said, look, you know, because it's just a sea of people on both sides of the road. And in the end, he took me. And when we got to Sukhumvit, he said to me, the reason I took you is because you're old. And I thought you had a disability in your knee because you fell down. I said, no, I don't have any disability, but thank you anyway. And I gave him an extra 100 baht. So I'll probably tell this story again in the evening stream next week. But to cut a long story short, which it is a long story now, it was great on the boat, but I'd never do it again. Never. It's just not worth the, you know, the stress and the crushing and having to walk miles at 3, 4 in the morning. And I think next year what I'll do is I'll book a room around May, June and get a guarantee that I've got that room overlooking the river so that I can get some drinks in and everything. We can watch a fireworks display and afterwards just go to bed. A lot easier. Right. Good afternoon. If you've just joined us, we've got 136 now, which I'm really surprised about because I just clicked go live. And as you can see, it's very natural behind me. No green screen, just a little bit of greenery out there. I've actually turned the camera so you can see out the window. Right. Okay. Jason Finch says soy nana is good. We had a bit of a problem in Nana last night. That's another story. So, you know, the strict rules about not taking pictures. We know that. OK, we know you don't take your camera, stop taking pictures of the bars. But we were in Spanky's, which I like, actually. It's not a bad bar on the 2nd floor. And I got my camera out and Ed was here and I was holding the camera up there photographing, and one of the waitresses come up to me, oh no, you can't take photographs, and I showed her, I says, I know I says, my friend's just arrived. I'm taking a picture of me and my friend. She grabbed my camera and ran to the bar with it, right? I couldn't believe it. So I got up, and they got a French manager in there who's quite a nice guy. And I ran it and I got my phone, and he said, did she snatch your phone from her? I said, yeah. And I showed him the picture. I said, look, I get it. You don't take pictures in a Goga bar. I understand that. But I was holding it, pointing at me and my friend, and I showed her and she snatched the phone. Anyway, when I left, because I scanned my bill, so he knew I wasn't a tourist, like, because I've got a bank account here, I'm scanning the bill. And he came outside after me and he said, look, I'm really sorry about that. And I said, no, look, don't worry about it. She's just been a bit paranoid. Maybe I should have took my phone out. But you got to be careful, you know. So a funny night last night. Right, let's carry on with some hellos. Hi from Kuala Lumpur. It's raining here. I left Pattaya 3 days ago. My worst Thai experience. Andrew. Yeah, a video I made about 2 years ago was called One of the Worst Things About Thailand. And what it was, I was going to the airport with Apple, the taxi driver, Lady Apple. And I said, the worst thing about coming to Thailand is one day you have to leave. And that, you know, when you get near the airport and you feel the road like boom, 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 and you know you're very close, it's very depressing, isn't it? Jason Fitch, I'll get married to you. I don't know what that means. Max Smith, good old Tylex, yeah. Stephen O'Connor, just back from Pattaya, was there for 2 weeks, went to Koh Larn for 2 days. Nice quiet change from Pattaya. Yeah, Stephen, I went to Koh Larn about 3 months ago. I didn't really take to it. I mean, what I liked about it is I was able to rent a motorbike. It was 300 baht actually. And they've got some quite good roads. They're really, you know, you're real steep, and then you come down almost like roller coaster. You've got to be really careful. But I found there wasn't a lot to do on there. I found it a little bit boring in the evening. Daytime was okay. I was staying at a place called the Xanadu Hotel, and it was okay, but I much preferred, where do we go to? You know, when you drive to Rayong, you can take the boat across to Koh Samet or Koh Samui, Koh Samet, I think it is. And I found that much better. But Koh Larn, it was all right. I suppose if you're in Pattaya, it's worth it for a day or one night. But I didn't, you know, I'm not in a hurry to get back there. Johnny, 700 baht in Pattaya. Okay. Don 1560. I love the watches. Can't go wrong. They last for years. Yeah, if you just come in, he's talking about my fake Rolex that I bought last night when I was inebriated. I'll just show you again if you didn't see it. It doesn't matter if it goes wrong, does it? It's quite a nice looking watch. And like I said, if you missed earlier, it doesn't have a battery. It's perpetual movement, like a little pendulum inside. And I'll probably only wear it occasionally, but you know, £60, $65. You can't go wrong, can you? And like I said earlier, you know, it's the ones that the guys wear like glass. It's supposed to be diamonds. They just look so fake and stupid. URL Droid Superbot. What sort of challenges have you encountered in the 1 year retired YouTuber life by now, living unaccompanied at 62? Do you feel the need of someone to depend on times? Do you know, that's a really good question. So basically what this guy's asking is, you know, I moved out here full time. It's actually 1.5 years ago now. I've just renewed my long-term visa, 1 year visa. And when I first came here, I came out on the tourist exempt stamp, so 30 days. And then I applied for a retirement visa first time. And then they give you automatically 3 months while they're doing it. And then they give you 50 months. So about a month ago, I got my new visa. I'm actually using Mark now, one-stop visa in Soy 6. That's another story. Okay, I'm not using Lana anymore. I'm using Mark in Soy 6. He's very, very good. I'm going to make a video with him. But yeah, I mean, it's a good question. What challenges? So really, I don't get too lonely. I'm really lucky because of this channel. I get people contact me and say, look, I'm in town. I want to meet up. Let's meet up for a beer and stuff. And these glasses are I'm trying to I'll look down so they don't tint too much. I'm really lucky because I think loneliness would be a big problem. You know, when you've lived with a family for 30 years and then you're suddenly out here on your own, that would be a problem. But I get guys, I've made some really good friends out here. Not with everybody I meet, but I get guys who come out here and say, look, I'm here for a few days. Let's meet up. I can't meet up with all of them because I do work. And, but I've met some really good guys and some of them are really good friends now. And so, you know, if I want to go out, then I've got people to go out with. So the only challenge is really, there hasn't really been any really. To be honest, like I came out here, did my visa, I got my apartment, which they've just renewed for the 2nd year. They didn't put the rent up at all. I know she's going to put it up next year, but I've already said to her, look, if it's reasonable, I'll do a 3rd year. I don't want to, you know, and I think she'll be okay. So apartment, visa, you get to know the shops. I bought my scooter, I got my car. I've made a few friends. I don't think there has been any real challenges, but yeah, good question. Right, and another one from you here. Do you have an emergency contact who would sign papers if you need to visit a hospital? I do. Look, I'll show you what I carry, because I've got my good friend Simon here. I've known him for 30 years, him and his wife, and he's like a brother to me. Okay, so I carry in my wallet. I carry a. So if something happened to me, I was unconscious. I carry this. I'll just cover the phone numbers up. Let me just show you, but I'll cover the phone numbers up. Right, I carry that. It's in English. Okay, on that side. That's Simon and his missus, his wife. And then I also, it's on the other side in Thai. So basically, if something happened to me, they'd go through my wallet, they'd find that, and they'd phone them. And, like I say, Simon's like a brother to me. We trust each other. And he'd just sort everything out for me. He's aware of my financial banking and all the rest of it. So, yeah, I mean, that's something you have to sort out. If you come here, you obviously you need somebody on your behalf if it all goes wrong. Robster, bought 2 watches, both stopped working after 2 days, and I can't adjust the time dial, doesn't work. You take your chance, don't you? The thing is, there's different qualities of fake watches that you can buy. You can buy a Rolex for $1,000. It's got a battery in it. Very funny story. My Korean wife, when I was married, she worked for a big company in the UK called Goldsmiths. It's a jewelry shop, and they do high-end and low-end jewelry. Where we lived in Kettering, they didn't sell Rolexes, but they sell, because it's a small market town, but they did sell watches like Tag, which my wife bought me on staff discount. She bought me this, which is quite nice. This cost about I think it was about, how much was it, £1,500, but she got staff discount on it, and that's my everyday watch. It's quite nice. But back to the funny story. So there was a taxi driver in Kettering who comes here quite often, and one day he walked in. My wife was a supervisor in this Goldsmiths. Okay, she'd been there 12 years. The shop's closed down now. She's not working there. She's got another job. And this taxi driver who'd just come back from Bangkok a while ago, he came back and he said to my wife, he put this so-called Rolex on the counter. He said, "Can you change the battery in it for me?" Well, of course, my wife didn't want to embarrass the guy. She just said, "Oh, we don't change batteries here. You'd need to send off to Rolex for it, But I mean, I thought everybody knew that Rolex had perpetual movement. Gorgeous Thailand, Chinatown, best place for watches. Different grades and copies. So yeah, you're Chinatown. You're talking about Klom Tom. That's the watch area in Chinatown, and there you can pay up to. How much would you pay? You can pay up to 15,000, 20,000, and that's. See, when I picked up this Rolex, I got it in a plastic bag like you put your tomatoes in, right? But when you buy it from Klom Tom and you pay top money, they're the real pucker. The watches that you can't tell the difference, and in fact you get the green box with a gold Rolex stamp on it. You get paperwork, you get a sticker on the back of it like the real one, and it's really like, you just cannot tell the difference. But yeah, Klom Tom. Dixon Ormers, afternoon gentlemen and ladies, nice to see you got the Fashion Police watching the wife beat a top. Yeah, this is look, I go out with this one to the park. Longsdale, got that in the UK. But what it is, because I've normally when I do the streams, I've got a green screen behind me with a nice image and the aircon on. And obviously I can't have the fan on. See the fan there? I can't have that on because of it just go on the green screen. But I cleaned the apartment. I opened the windows today, and I'm sitting here waiting for somebody to call me for lunch. And I thought, you know what, I'll do a quick stream just as an experiment, see if anybody comes in. And I'm surprised, nearly 200 people in there. Right. Go for Dan Marley is okay. Yeah, I didn't say she's not okay. She's a nice girl, but she is busy. I'm not avoiding her. She is busy. Right. Good morning from Berlin. I don't know how to say that name, but good morning to you, sir. Real Deal TV. What a nice surprise stream. Good to see. Get the shirt off. It's too hot. I'm starting to sweat now. I'm kind of thinking, shall I close the windows and put the aircon on? Because I'll just take a shower again. Another shower. Sometimes you take up to 4 showers a day here. Where are you, Peter? Daniel. I'm in my apartment, Daniel, very close to Nana BTS. Okay, I live really central here. Okay, on one of the quiet soys. I'm not going to say which one because you do get a few nutters out there. But I'm in my apartment. I'm actually in my bedroom. So if I'm moving, see my bed there. Not seeing a lot of action, but that's my bed there. And yeah, my lounge is through there. Okay. I have got a live stream scheduled for next, when is it? Next Sunday, the 14th. I've just done the thumbnails. I might do a few more like this. Somebody said, why don't you do member stream only as ad hoc? But the problem with doing member streams ad hoc is when you advertise a member stream, I mean, I've got probably 200 members now. But in a live stream, maybe I get about 50, and sometimes it dries up a little bit, the chat, or, I'm not, I run out of things to talk about. And if I do an unscheduled member stream, I might have 10 people in there, whatever to talk about. Right, Graham Hawkins, morning, Peter, 6:30 a.m. here. Graham, how's the weather in the UK now? Because I get different reports. Some people say it's cold, some people say it's mild. Let me adjust this lighting a little bit. I look like I've been on the booze all night. I have, but I'm not that red in real life. Hang on. No, that's not very good. How's that? It's because I haven't got any light in. That's what it's like. Let's turn this a little bit. No, it's blinding me. Right. Okay. I'm just looking down in the car park there. Right. Okay. Who's this? Intergalactic. I've lost it. Intergalactic work. Hello, sir. Please kindly show us your hemorrhoids relief ointment that you indulge with. I'll send it to you first class because you obviously need it more than I do. Latte, my kid, how are you doing? Let me just bear with me. Right. Latha, how you doing? Morning, Peter from Greece. You're in Greece. Okay, well done. How's the weather in Greece? Good, I hope. Morning to same pest, is it? 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that. A super chat. Who's that from? Michael Ward, towards the Rolex fund. Cheeky git. Yeah, that's like, yeah, thank you, Michael, for the £10. I wasn't expecting any super chats today. It's just a one-off. I fancy another coffee, but I've got no one here to make it for me, so I'll have to wait. Very kind, Michael. Thank you very much. Yeah, I had my first troll in there just now, didn't I? Right, where are we? Go back to where we were. Max Swift, did you catch up with Ed Sweeney? No, he's not talking to me at the moment. Do you remember about a year ago, he got pissed off with a load of people, and there was a bit of a conflict with that guy in Holland. The guy I'm talking about, I forgot his name, Steph, I think it is. And Ed was friends with him, and I don't know, all went tits up. And he apparently he's here, and he's moved out here now. So I've got nothing against the guy. If I bumped into him in the street, I'd say hi, but I'm not going to go out of my way because he made it clear in that video he doesn't want to talk to anyone. Right, Fitzy, how are you doing? There is a man who will talk to me. I've had a few beers with Fitzy before. Hey, Peter, just noticed you're live. Unplanned, Fitzy, absolutely unplanned, but we've had a couple of beers together in Pattaya. Joda, in Chiang Mai, around 30 centigrade is sunny and low humidity. That's the problem here. It's always humid. I've got the windows open, though, and the fan going, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Yeah, Chiang Mai is nice and cool, isn't it? Okay. What are you saying there? Hi, Peter. Checking in from an undisclosed location. You're always the same message. Mogadishu, where I saved the Lord, preaching gospel, and you might as well just keep the same comment there and just paste it. It's the same. Hi, how you doing? But it's the same message. Daniel, Bangkok Pattaya, the girls, the channel became so boring. Who's that? What's the name of the channel? Bangkok Pattaya, the girls, the channel became so boring. Who's that? Bangkok Pattaya. I've never heard of him. 808, how you doing? Nightwing. Hey, Peter, it was good to get in contact with you last week. I'll be sure to book a consultation and make my way out there in September. Yeah, okay, nice one. Ted N. Peter, what's the cost for a 1-year visa? Okay, so I'll give you a roundabout figure because the agents don't really like to talk money in a public forum. You need to go and speak to them, really, but I can give you a hint. So it depends on a lot of things. Really, the main thing that will make a big difference is if you want a multi-entry visa. So what some people don't realize is that if you're on a retirement visa, for instance, and it lasts a year, people think, oh, well, I can go out the country because I've got a year's, visa, retirement visa, so I can leave the country and come back whenever I want. And that's not the case, because if you leave the country, I know a guy it happened to, he got a retirement visa, and after 2 months, he had to go home to see one of his daughters. He came back in thinking, well, I've got the retirement visa, and they give him a 30-day tourist exempt stamp. And they said, well, he said, what's that for? I've got a retirement visa. And they said, well, that's cancelled because you don't have a multi-entry. So in answer to your question, the first year is the most expensive. It goes down. So it depends whether you've got the money in the bank or not, which I can't get into here, but you've got to kind of think about what I'm saying in a roundabout way. And also the multi-entry. So if you have everything, if you need the full service, normally around 30,000 baht. If you don't want the multi-entry visa and you can cut corners in other ways, maybe 24, something like that. But the second year, it's cheaper because they don't have to do all the police checks and Interpol and all the rest of it. Okay, they do them checks actually. Well, they're supposed to, but I don't know if you're aware of that. Daniel, read that out right. Who's Here we go. No name. Peter, when will you talk about the new agent? Well, I have mentioned him already. So the new agent I'm using, as I said, is Mark. Really nice guy on Soy 6 in Patti. I went to see him about a month or so ago, and he works with his wife. But I am planning to, Mark and I are planning to do a video together. But the problem is he's just so overloaded at the moment because he works with Trevor from Buzz in Pattaya as well. So, you know, he's got him some people there. And also I did a video on how a tourist can open a bank account. It's quite difficult to do by yourself. About if you want a Thai bank account and you're on a tourist visa, it's very difficult to do it. In fact, it's so challenging now. People don't bother, but there is a way. And I made a video with Peter from Thai Legal Protection based in Pattaya, who works also with Mark and some other people. And Mark just got overloaded because of that video. A lot of people wanted to open bank accounts, went to Peter, who's working with Mark. And so in answer to your question, I'll talk about him any time, but I will make a video on Mark, but probably not for 3 or 4 months. I'm just waiting for Mark to contact me and say, you know, come down and do a video, because right now he's just overloaded. It's just him and his wife. I think he's going to take some more staff on. Yeah, Mike, how you doing? Mike Bench, hi. Mike Bench, hit the like button. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mike. Scott Ingram, hi Peter. First time catching you live. Have been let me put that up there. First time catching you live. Have been catching up on all your streams in order from last year up to March so far. Great journey. I'll be there again in September. Yeah, cool. It's yeah, I might start doing some of these ad hoc streams because I'm always a bit nervous that nobody will come into them, you know, because when you do a thumbnail, you say, you know, I'm going live next Sunday, and you know, I do a 3-minute intro, and people say, why do you do such a long intro? And the reason I do it is because when that intro is playing, you see more and more people coming in. So when I actually start the stream, there's normally 100 people in there already. And the thing that puts me off these kind of ad hoc streams is I think, well, I'll be sitting there by myself and there'll be nobody there. But actually, I've only done 2 ad hoc streams in the 5 years I've been doing this. One was on the beach in Pattaya, and I had over 200 people, and it went for 2 hours. And now this one, which has been going for 37 minutes. So yeah, you know, I mean, I'm just being a bit paranoid, really, I guess. Scott, thanks for your efforts. Thank you, Scott. Real Deal TV. Hey, Peter, I will be there in March. How many days do you recommend in Bangkok? 2 or 3? Well, I'll just tell you how I used to do it. I don't know how long you come in here, but let's just say you come in here for a couple of weeks. So obviously you land in Bangkok. You want to go back and have a sleep and be rested. Then the next day you're kind of tired, jet lag. You've had a good sleep, but you're jet lag. So I'd say probably 3 nights and then head down to Pattaya if that's where you're going. So the first night you have a couple of beers and you rest. The second day you've had a good night's sleep, but you're jet lagged, so you want to take it easy. And then the third night you can really go for it and then go down to Pattaya if that's where you're going. And then coming back, it's basically the same for me. You know, I'd have 2 nights on the way back. So one, I come to Bangkok because I'm refreshed. I've slept in Pattaya, come up in the taxi, and then have a night out. And then the next day was getting ready for the airport. James Hendons, hi James, how you doing? Fitzy, looks nice with the greenery out the window. Well, I purposely done that. I turned the camera, you know, because if I turn it that way, like that's how I normally have it. It's very boring, isn't it? White walls. So I thought I'll just stick it out the window, and I'm on the side. A bit too much now, isn't it? But because I haven't got any lighting, you know, when I set the green screen, I've got a light there. But I'll show you how bright this is. So I'll plug it in for a second. Probably get complaints from the neighbours. Just to show you the difference. I'm not going to keep it on though. See, look at that. Look. It's like I can't look at it. Take it off. But you have to have it for a good green screen effect. Right, who's this? Honesty uninterested. I've lost you. Where are we? Right. Thinking Mexico, only 150 Canadian dollars for Toronto. I've always wanted to go down there, Mexico and stuff. Never got around to it. I don't think it will happen now. That's a good price. Graham Hawkins, wet, windy, and cold, Peter. Yeah, okay. Do you know, sometimes people say, do you miss anything about the UK? And there's a couple of things I miss. I miss my dog Benji because I used to enjoy walking Benji the Beagle. But the other thing I actually do miss a little bit of bad weather now, because the thing is here, it's just hot, 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 which is great. And the humidity, you know, every time you go out, you've got to put clean underwear on and take a shower. You know, it's not like in the UK, you can wear the same shirt for like 3 months. Just joking, but you know what I mean. And I kind of miss those mornings where you come out and it's like you know, in the UK in November when it's crisp, you know, it's like totally blue skies and, you know, it looks like smoke coming out your mouth and it's cold, but you wrap up and you're crunching along on the pavement. I miss that actually, miss it. Not enough to go back though. Okay, honestly uninterested. Cold is relative. 20 Fahrenheit here in NB. Where's NB? MB. I should know that. I don't know. NB. Right. Real Deal TV. Do you find it hard to eat more than you need with so much great food around? It is a problem. That's a real big problem, actually. And the other thing is you tend to eat out a lot because it's easier and it's cheap. And I eat a lot of Western food here. I used to go to I used to do a lot. I used to go to Soy 13. Okay. They got the trendy building there. And I used to go to the Red Lion downstairs. Which used to be great food, and I'm not going to slate it, but let's just say I kind of went off it a little bit for various reasons. And I now go to the Huntsman, which is further down the road, and that's the sort of place I like to eat at the moment if I want Western food. But yeah, in answer to your question, I've been exercising, I've been trying not to eat too much, but there's so many great choices here, and it's actually, I've got to cut down on the curries, and I'm going out for an Indian curry every kind of 3 days or something. I'd have one once a month in the UK, so you've got to watch it, yeah. Right, Gary. Gary Balsaran, is it? What's your favorite Thai dish? Where do you like to get it from? So very, very simple. I just like khao pad kai, fried rice with chicken with a fried egg on top, or maybe pad thai I like as well. But I like to go to Soy 33. I did a video on it. It's a little restaurant close to Villa Supermarket opposite the Emporium. And it's a real simple place, but all the menus is photographs. The food's clean. And for two people, Ed and I went there and had lunch. We had a couple of sodas. He had pad thai, I had fried rice, and we had some spring rolls. And I think it was 300 baht for the pair of us. So yeah, it's and when you live here, you find alternatives to like all these expensive places down here on Sukhumvit. There are other places hidden away if you take the trouble to look down the soys. And having a scooter is great because some of the soys are really quite long, so you could probably walk 1 or 2 a day. But on a scooter, you can kind of go up and down them. Right. Okay. Michael Mactins in Boston, raining right now, and forecast is changed. Right, I haven't told you about the idiot in 7-Eleven the other night, haven't you? I hope he's watching. He won't be. Okay, so where I live, there's a 7-Eleven fairly close by, and I use it. I go to Big C, I go to Terminal 21, I do my Foodland, so I do my shopping out and about. But the 7-Eleven is really handy if you want to pick up a pack of sodas or a bottle of Coke or some instant noodles or even some eggs. They sell eggs now, milk, coffee, tea, all that sort of thing. So I probably go into 7-Eleven 3 times to 4 times a week to just pick up bits and pieces. I know all the girls who work in the 7-Eleven because I've been going to the same one for like a year and a half now, and I go in and we joke and they'll say, oh, look, special promotion on the counter. I'll grab the Kit Kats and put them in my pocket and say, see you tomorrow. And they're like screaming, no, take them out of your pocket. So we have a bit of banter when I go over there, so no problems. So I went over there I wanted to get some sodas because I'm trying to drink soda instead of Pepsi, and I do drink a little bit of Pepsi and Coke, but it's a caffeine, and if you drink it every day and then you don't have it, you get headaches. And I was taking these like every day, headache tablets. But that's bad. So I thought, well, I'll get off the caffeine. I was sodas, okay? So I goes over to 7-Eleven, and it wasn't late. It was probably 7 o'clock at night, okay? And this particular 7-Eleven sometimes has a beggar outside. I don't know why I've got an itchy nose today. Hang on. Let's do it once and for all. Give it a good old scratch. Okay. There we are. Good to go. And a drink. So, so I goes over to the 7-Eleven. I thought I'll buy some sodas, and so there's 2 tills, okay? I'm standing in the middle because it's quite a small 7-Eleven. So till here, cash register, the Americans, right? Cash register. I'm in the middle. There's one person there. I'm thinking, if that one goes free, I'll go here. If that one goes free, I'll go here. So I'm standing there, minding my own business with my bag and my sodas ready to pay. And this guy walks in, and he's from, I think he's from Newcastle, somewhere like that, but he's pissed, drunk, okay? And it's 7 o'clock in the evening. So he brings this beggar from outside. He's sitting there, this beggar, and he walks in with him, and they've got the meals, the 7-Eleven meals, which is like 40, 50 baht. And he's like, yeah, take a meal. Okay, fair play to the guy. The guy's begging outside, looks all dirty, probably hungry. So this guy's coming and say, okay, pick a meal. I'll buy it. No problem with that. And anyway, I'm waiting there, and he comes up, and I can tell he's drunk just by his actions. He's overly, he's overacting everything. He's loud, and I look at him and I think, God Almighty, it makes me ashamed to be British, looking at you. But I just ignore him. I want to just get out of there. I don't want nothing to do with the guy. But he's a typical kind of low life character that you don't want to bump into, here in Thailand, and he's really drunk, and he's loud, and he's like everybody's his friend, but people are looking at him like, what a dick, right? So I'm standing at the counter, so my turn to pay, and she tells me how much it is, get some money out, and it's like something like 100 and 34 baht. Well, I've got coins. So I pick up the coins and count them out, and one falls on the floor. And he says something to me, this guy, like, oh, you dropped your coin or something. But it was in a kind of sarcastic way. And I think he'd said something else, which is a bit derogatory. But I didn't quite catch it. So when I dropped the coin, he said something. I said, oh, I just looked at him. I said, what did you say? And he said something else. And then I didn't say anything. And he looked at me and he said, I'll see you outside if you want. Like, he's offering me out. I'm buying a bloody sodas and he's offering me out. So he says, I mean, obviously a typical UK waster drunk, right? And he basically said to me, he says, yeah, I'll see you outside if you like. So I just looked at him. I just said, yeah, fine, if you want to. You know, I mean, I'm 64. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to like say, oh, no, please don't hit me. So he just said, oh, I'll see you outside. And I'm like, yeah, whatever you want, you know, what makes you happy, mate? So I go out with my shopping. I don't look back. I'm not going to wait for the prick, right? And I'm walking down the street and I look back and he's nowhere to be seen. So I don't know if he's, you know, he thought about it again or whatever. But, you know, you've got to be so careful in Thailand because you bump into these people. They come out for a week. They can't handle their drink and then they just make trouble. Now, can you imagine the situation if I got so angry, picked up my iron from my cupboard, went down there and said, what did you say? Bang. And I got deported. The guy's ruined my life. And I went in for some soda. So you've got to have some self-control. But I hate people like that. Right, that's my whinge over with. Yeah, just did, Andy. Look at that. Look, there and then. And I hope he is on vacation. I hope I don't bump into him again. If I see him in there, I just won't even go in there. I just don't want the confrontation. Aussie Rules, how you doing? Long time no see. Happy New Year, Peter, from West Coast, USA. Hope Brian Flower's situation has improved. He's not posted anything for a while. I don't actually know. I mean, I'm friends with Brian. Well, I say friends. I mean, I've met him a few times and we're on a friendly basis. You know, and I used to, he's come into my member streams and he's given away up to 25 members, free memberships, you know, very generous, Brian. And I know the problem with his wife and all the rest of it. And I know everything that's gone on. And I used to watch his live streams just to catch up. But I don't know what's happened since the last time I watched him. He was visiting his wife in prison and, you know, she wasn't getting out because they had a dud lawyer. And I haven't heard anything since then. Some people tell me, oh, yeah, she's out. Everything's okay now. Other people, no, she's still in there. So one guy told me Brian's in there as well, which is a load of BS. But, yeah, I don't know. Matteo, greetings from Patty. I had no idea you were going live. I had no idea I was going live. Lucky I can watch now while relaxing in my room with some nice cold Leo's. Best wishes, all the best. Yeah, I used to do that when I was in Patty in the afternoon. Sometimes go back and rest on the cool sheets. Ryan Seeger, how you doing? Honestly uninterested. Middle of the night here in Canada. Okay, you're not sleeping. Who's this? Chatalu. I can't read that. Master Man. I can read that one. I could swear I saw the beach. 1, 2. I usually miss all the live streams of any kind. Guess I can be happy now. Okay, thank you. That's some name you got there. Sean Hollis. Hi, Peter. I watched one of your videos from about a year and a half ago. The other day, you can see how much weight you have lost now. Well done. Keep it. Do you know, I've actually put on 4 kilos. I weighed myself this morning. A lot of the times I don't weigh myself because I don't want to get depressed. Because not depressed, but it gets me down when I see I put weight on, you know, because I'm trying hard. I swim, I'm out on my bike, you know, I try to reduce my food. But I made the big mistake last night, the big mistake. I went to Big C in the car because the car needed a run. I haven't started it for 2 weeks. And I said to Ed, let's go to Big C. If you need anything for your house, I've got the car, we'll stick it in the boot. And I bought a sandwich maker, you know, like you make a cheese and onion toasty. Because I don't know why, I never bought one here. And they had one in there for 600 baht, a nicer one. And I thought, oh, you know, can do cheese and onion sandwiches in there. So I thought, all right, I'll buy. And I thought they got a great bakery in Big C on Rama 4. I thought I'll buy some bread as well. And Ed says, I bet you'll tuck into that tonight. I thought, no, I don't eat at night. No, I'm not eating at night. Anyway, you know, we went to Pat Pong. We had a night out and it happened. I came back. I looked at the toaster. I looked in my fridge. I've got an onion in there. I got some cheese. I couldn't resist. And I made myself cheese and onion toasties with ketchup and mustard, ate it and went to bed. And of course, this morning I woke up. I haven't eaten today. I've been up since 9 o'clock. It's now 2 o'clock. I don't want to eat because I ate last night and I just feel so peed off about it. But thanks for that. I'm glad you can see like a bit of weight loss because it, you know, I don't notice it looking at myself every day. Real Deal TV. Oh, look, I've got another super chat there. Aussie Rose. Like I said, I wasn't expecting these 2. That's 2 now. Thank you. Wish you success in 24. Yeah, you too, Aussie Rose. Thank you very much. It's great. Okay, I'm going to come down. There's a couple of... I'm a bit slow with the comments because I don't have anything going on today, any competitions or any manga minutes or anything like that. I'm just talking. So I know I'm a bit behind in these, but I'll get through all of them now. Can't believe it's over 200 people been going for 50 minutes. If you just joined us, it's an ad hoc stream. I was out in Patpong last night, just cleaned the apartment. I've put some washing on the balcony, drinking coffee. I want another one, but I can't obviously get up to get it. Okay, Maximilian, I love that name, Maximilian Swanson. Hello from Sweden, Peter. Finally catch a live stream. Maximilian, how you doing? That's the best name on the internet today. Nightwing, Nebraska. Okay, Nebraska. Okay, thank you for telling me. I would have never guessed that. Okay, Dougie D, do you have cockroaches in? That's a funny question. Do you have cockroaches in your apartment? What do you do about it? Never seen one here. When you pick an apartment, it's all very well going for the cheapest apartment you can get your hands on, but they're cheap for a reason. The management, the juristic, I think there's a dog fight. The management, the juristic, they don't, they want to save as much money. No, in answer to your question, no, not at all. That's a big change I've seen. 20 years ago, you walk down the street, you've seen rats everywhere, and there were cockroaches all over Sukhumvit Road. So you walk along, and you'd always see these big cockroaches. Rarely see a cockroach now. And as far as in my apartment, about once a month they go around. The guy has a machine on his back which has obviously got chemicals in it. I can hear it. Wake up, I can hear it. And they go around the entire building. They spray this stuff around downstairs. But I've not even seen a cockroach in the building, let alone my apartment. And if I did see one in my apartment, I'd probably spend £100 on, some stuff from 7-Eleven to spray everywhere. Nightwing, I can't wait to have authentic Thai food. Yeah. No name. Yes, Peter, that restaurant near 33 is good. I did a video on it. If you're wondering which one, I forget the name of it, but it's, you'd walk past it. You'd almost not notice it, like a small shop, but it's really good. Donald Trump. Hi, Peter. The president is in the building. Good afternoon, Mr. Trump. Right. Frederick Nyberg. Hello from Sumi. Getting a little warmer now. Not a fan of Thai food. Been living here a long time and like it less, but that's just me. Okay, fair enough. Some guys do come out here and they just don't like Thai food. I eat a lot of foreign Falang food. I mean, I eat it. I like Thai food, but I also like my foreign food. Franco, you're in. What's going on here? You never told me. I didn't know, Franco. I didn't tell anyone. I was sitting here. I did the washing. I made myself a cup of coffee. I did the thumbnails for the live stream next Sunday. And I thought, well, I'm going to meet somebody later for something to eat. And I'm sitting here and I'm playing about on the computer. And I thought, I wonder what would happen if I just pressed go live, right? Because, I advertise it for weeks in advance. And, I've got over 200 people in there. I can't believe it. So I was sitting here and I thought, I wonder what would happen if I went live. And I just pressed go live and I sat here with my coffee looking, nobody in the stream. And then 4 people came in and gradually it built up. So I didn't know, Franco, but good to see you in. It's going to be about 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning where you are, isn't it? Real deal. Yeah, a loser like that doesn't deserve to visit Thailand. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he was just drunk and he's an old. I mean, we've all done it, haven't we? I mean, I've been pissed. I mean, no, I haven't done it actually. I've been drunk. I haven't acted. I haven't started on strangers. No, but yeah, no, he's just an idiot. Scout Sandy, how you doing? Anton, how are you doing? You're out here soon, aren't you, Anton? If I remember rightly. Toby Price, I get embarrassed by lots of Farangs in Thailand. They have no idea of the culture. You actually get quite a lot of them in Pattaya. I don't want to sound like a snob, but I've been in bars where I've had guys going by and they've got an English flag on their back and they're literally walking down the beach road, England, knuckles, hands dragging along the pavement. I get embarrassed by it. Ryan, I usually get up and pay the bill and go at that point. Okay, Ryan says, yes, I spoke to Brian. She was out in November. Okay, that's good news. That must have been hell. Dylan Murphy, hopefully 2024 brings some new and exciting stories told, Peter. Yeah, with the stories, I don't know if you've seen, I put out a poll because I've changed the format now. I had a couple of guys say, I don't like it. It puts me off. I had to put the phone down. So if you watched the stories yesterday, normally for the last sort of 4 years, I've been telling these stories. I didn't tell any the first year of the channel. The second year started. So 5 years gone, 4 years stories. And, for yourself, I'm sitting in the screen, introduce the stories, and I just sit there and read. And in the background, there's a nice video of a waterfall or something or other. And what I've done now, I've actually got this. I've got one of these brilliant little cameras. Look, I'll show you. This is the what do they call it? Hang on, I'm trying to get it. It's a DJI Osmo. This is the second. This is the number 2. They've got a number 3 out here, and I've not used it much. But let me just turn it on. So that is so discreet, you know, because when you're holding a phone on a selfie stick, it gets heavy, right? And look, there's a screen there. Hello. So what happens when you I can walk down the street holding that, and it's so discreet, you know, and I'm not filming bars anyway. I can just walk around Terminal 21 or down Sukhumvit and ever, and the quality I can actually film up to 4K on it. In this memory stick, I can get a bigger memory stick as well. So the new format to the stories, what I've decided to do is, because a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon telling stories now, and I thought, but I've got to try and freshen it up a bit. So I'll take my gizmo there, just put that back. And so what I've done, rather than have me just sitting in the picture of the screen reading the story, and you're not going to sit there looking at me for half an hour, I've reduced, like, so if I'm there on the screen in the middle telling the story, I've reduced myself right, oh, other way. I'm down here now, like, hang on, it's really hard with the camera. I'm in that corner, I'm in this corner here, no, that corner. Yeah, I'm here around this sort of size. And in this whole area of the video, I'm just like walking about on the streets of Bangkok. And some people said, oh yeah, I love the new format. And other people said, oh, it puts me off, I get vertigo, I can't watch it. So I put a poll out there, and at the moment, let me just grab the poll and I'll tell you how many people have said they like it and how many people that don't like it. It was a post. Here we go. And I'm glad people do like it. So I've only put the post out today, and how many people have voted on it? Okay, so 297 people have voted on it already, the poll. The poll basically said, I've changed the format of my stories. Let me know what you think. So 45%, basically, I don't care whether you have a walking or a static background. Doesn't make any difference. 47% said, I like the new format. And 8% said, no, I don't like it. Puts me off. So it looks like it's here to stay, which is good news, because it's just a little bit nicer, I think, than, you know, just sitting there. Anyway, enough about the stories. Okay, the man, I can't mention his name. Peter, what happened when you meet a bird? Do you wine and dine her, or do you go straight for the jugular? Oh, you'll have to come into the members stream for that. We don't talk about that here. Matthew Allen, hi everybody and everyone. I hope you're well. Hi, Alan, Matthew. Michael Ward, the good thing about stupid drunks, you don't need anything from them. Yeah, absolutely. Perbert, how you doing? Hey, Peter, what are you doing live now? I don't know. I just press go live, see what happens. That was like an hour ago. Over 200 in now. I hope I'm not stepping on anybody else's feet, because I know there's some Pattaya vloggers that go live around this time. So I was only meant to go for half an hour, but people are leaving comments. So as long as people are leaving comments, I haven't got anything else to do at the moment. So Dylan Murphy, hopefully 2000 brings some new exciting stories. Yeah, that's where we were, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so just last thing on the stories there. So I do get a trickle of new stories, but what you got to remember is right now it's high season, and all those stories that I read out are happening right now. So in 3 months' time, when I read out about the guy who's gone home with, you know, an empty wallet and a broken heart, and he's, you know, he's done in, that's happening to that guy now, and I'll get the story probably in 3 or 4 months' time. So that's why I've had to repeat some of the older stories. But I have got new ones for next week as well. Chris Card, how you doing, Chris? Good to see you in an unexpected stream here. Vietnam Viking 2001 in the house. Yeah, I might make it a regular Sunday afternoon thing if it goes well. But if I do a regular Sunday afternoon, I think I'll make it like this. I won't put up any green screens. I'll maybe sit by the pool and go up by the pool, try and bring a few people in. Nightwing says something about roaches works. Yeah, well, I haven't got any roaches, so it's all right. Thank you, Mr. Purple. Our bar's open till 4 a.m. now. You come in. I was right at the beginning of the screen. I was saying I was out in. I went to Pat Pong last night because somebody wanted to go there. They'd never been there. We had a good time, and then we went to Nana. But I don't know if the bar stayed open until 4, because I don't stay out that late anymore. I get tired. There's no, you know, I can't. I'm older now, and I try to do exercise, but I get tired. But no, I don't know. I should know, I suppose. I'll try and find out for you. But thanks for the super chat, by the way. All right. Right. Doug says, looks like a quiet place you have there on the first floor. Not so close to Nana, surprising. I'm not actually on the first floor. I'm a bit higher up than that. But the reason it's quiet is, yeah, I am fairly close to Nana Soi 4. But the thing is, my soy is very, very long, and I'm down right deep down into it, where people don't really want to live down here. But I've got a scooter, so it doesn't make any difference. So even if I go out and I don't want to drink and drive, I can take the scooter to the top of the road and park it, and then go out on a BTS or whatever, and coming back, it's not normally a problem if I've had a couple of beers, just, or I can walk it. It's not that bad. It's not that far to walk. Philippines Export and Co. Have you been mongering with Ed Sweeney? Haven't seen him, haven't heard anything from him. I doubt he'll contact me. Real Deal TV. When I was in Saigon staying in a hotel, I got woken up at 2 a.m. I looked out the window and there was a guy working on a digger. That's unreal, isn't it? That's unreal. I mean, it's like here where I live. Sometimes you just think, has common sense gone out the window? I mean, it's a great place to live. And, the management who run it are all nice and they're accommodating, they help you out and all that. But they decided to do a fire alarm practice, right? When did they decide to do it? Was it a Tuesday afternoon when everybody was at work? No, it wasn't. Was it a Thursday morning around 11 a.m. when everybody was up and had their breakfast? And no, it wasn't. When did they decide to do a fire alarm? It was 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning when everybody has the day off and is laying in and having laying in bed and having a bit of a lay-in, So sometimes things don't quite work here, and you kind of scratch your head and you think Sunday morning, 9 o'clock. Never mind. A lot of talk about cockroaches and geckos in the stream today. Thank you, Grant Loveridge. Appreciate that. Shane, Peter, Happy New Year to you. Can you get around in Hua Hin? Just boat to. I'll be honest with you, it's a little bit difficult in Hua Hin. It's not like Pattaya where you got BART buses roaming around and taxis everywhere. They do have. It's improved actually, because I was using Bolt the last time I was in Hua Hin. Because although I've got a car, I'm going out in the evening drinking. Last thing I want to do is get nabbed for drinking and driving. So they've got Bolt. It's not impossible, but it's not as easy as Bangkok and Pattaya. Sometimes you have to stand around a little bit, but you won't get stranded. Fun Cart Media, quite a lengthy comment there. I see you have the same open windows as I have in my apartment. I went to Home Pro and made some mosquito screens so I could leave windows open with them at. Do you know what? It's not bad here, actually. I mean, I've got a routine. When I wake up in the morning, obviously I've got a balcony where I hang my clothes, and there's a full-size door you can walk out of. So what I do, I've got a fan here, right? I've got a fan in front of the window where I watch TV, because I rarely use the aircon now, and I've got one where I drink my coffee in the mornings, and sometimes I get bitten like hell in there, but it's really weird. It's not very often, and I've been here now with the windows open for what? I've been going for an hour, and I was sat here for half an hour before that. So I don't know, maybe when they fly in, the wind, they get winded away by the fan. I don't know, but it hasn't been an issue. But if it ever is, that's a good idea. Gary Locke, I'm English and proud, representing England all over the planet. Some, I know that word, really are embarrassing. Most people are surprised they like us, laugh out loud. Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. I mean, I'm not ashamed to be British. Sometimes we act a little bit unruly like everybody else does. But when you get a real dickhead who's just like starting fights with strangers, like the guy wanting to start with me the other day, you just don't want to be near those guys, do you? But you know what will happen? I said to a friend of mine, I told him the story, but you know what will happen to him? I'm mature, and I just walked away and thought, silly man, and I came back. But one day he'll come up against his match, because he'll be in there and he'll say, I'll meet you outside, to the wrong guy. And the guy in the shop will say, why wait till we go outside? Here, have a Heineken bottle. I mean, it will happen to him. I've seen plenty of guys get hit over the head with Heineken bottles, but normally by Thai girls, not. I've seen some. Yeah, I've seen a few incidences where I'll tell you about one of them. So I'll tell you about two of them. Okay, so I was sitting in a go-go bar in Nana Plaza 20 years ago. So you walk in, and it was right in that far right-hand corner. I forget the name of it. I think it's Rainbow something now. Japanese love that one. Okay, so I'm in there, and we're sitting on one of the sofas. So there's a stage. There's a stage in front of us there. The seating behind it facing this way, and we're in the seating facing this way. Okay, and we're quite high up on the tier seating. And we're looking at the girls dancing, having a drink, talking to each other, just having a general night out in Nana Plaza. And for some reason, my eyes caught this guy. He'd got up out of his chair on the other side. Now, I didn't see anything happen, but I'm looking at the stage, and for some reason, out of my provision, is that how you say provision? I can't say the side vision, right? The guy gets up and he's walking around, and he's walking towards the door. And I'm just glancing at him, watching him like this go out the door. And he gets to the door, and one of the girls has jumped off the stage. She's grabbed a customer's Heineken bottle just before he opens the door, crack on the back of his head. I'm like, Jesus, did you see that? That was one incident. And then one was quite recent when I came back during COVID on the COVID pass. These guys you see walking around kind of soy for, they've got really, they're tramps. They've got really dark skin. They've got a pair of flip-flops on that look like they've got them out of a dumpster. They're in rags and they just look dirty. You don't even want to go near them in case something jumps off them onto you. And I was walking in the daytime, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was walking towards Sukhumvit along Soi 4, and Nana Plaza was on my right. I was on this side of the road, where just past the Nana Hotel. You know what I mean? Where they set up the food carts in the evening. You can hardly walk. Anyway, I'm walking along there, and this kind of hobo character, like I just described, kind of was walking on the road beside me and kind of walked past me. And one of the sellers who, they cook the food, I knew she was one of the sellers because she had a white hat on, the apron and the rubber boots that they wear. So I knew she was obviously off a food cart. She just come up behind this guy, right? He's looking this way. He had no idea. And she whacked this Heineken bottle on the back of his head, smash. He just kind of turned around in slow motion, started rubbing his head as if, what the heck was that? But what was comical about it is she actually legged it. She ran down Sukhumvit Soi 4, and I was like, I wonder what that was about. And I guessed it, and I thought, well, maybe he's gone to her car, asked for food. And the Thais are very generous. Maybe they'll never say no to somebody. If you say, look, I've got no money, can I have some food? They will. They're very generous. So I don't know what he's done. It's not a case of like he asked for food and they refused him. He must have insulted her or something. But yeah, it does happen. Right, back to the chat here. Gary Belsterson, I think. I've got to meet some mates for a bike tour in Surrey Hills, 5C. It was nice hearing from you. Right, thanks, Gary. So you're probably not here now, but Aussie Rose. Okay, that's the program I was waiting for, actually. Master of the Air, Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg's mini-series about US bomber group in the UK during World War II starts January 26th. I'm looking forward to that because, I'm into aviation history. I've got a small plane pilot license, probably run out now, actually. No, November it runs out. And I used to explore old airfields in the UK with my dog. I used to take him for a walk and go around the old airfields. I had a lot around where I live, and I actually am looking forward to this. So yeah, thanks for letting me know. Franco, Thailand ban. The other vloggers do not start till 9 a.m. UK time. Okay, so I'm not stepping on anybody's toe. What time is it now? It's 14:20, which in the UK that's about 7:20 p.m. Okay, so. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, nobody owns a certain time, but it's just out of respect. You don't really want to be doing a stream when somebody else does it. Darren Jones, when meeting a girl, I normally go down Sukhumvit Soi 7/1. That's quite a good soy these days. I crouch down, squatting over the lovely lady tea. Begging her, I feel like $1 million after that. So, okay, I won't get into that one too much. Real Deal TV, yes, please do more pop-up streams. This is great for a Sunday afternoon. It's okay if you get people in. There's over 200 in now. I mean, that's actually more than a regular stream. I had 118 last week. 1 degree northwest, says James Hobson. Right. Peter, back in the day, as in when I was a student, I shared a room with two guys from Laos. One was called Bunting and the other Sisbet. I can't pronounce it. And every time I had to say their names, I'd always crack up. Okay, thanks for sharing that. Shane, all annoying mosquitoes are female. Just remember that. Yeah, that's an interesting fact. I didn't realize it's only the female mosquito that actually bites you, sucks the blood out of you, isn't it? Like it's like life, isn't it? Really, females, not the males. Perbert. What do you think of Pat Pong? Haven't been there in years. Seemed like a ping pong show, scammed everywhere. The biggest advice they give about Pat Pong, just don't go up any stairs. When you're walking down the market, you can still have a good night there, but it's so much hardcore than anywhere else. You'd like it, actually, for reasons we've discussed in the past. So you'd actually like it. The quality is actually quite good in some of the bars, but just don't go upstairs. That's where they do the ping pong balls and the scams and stuff like that. Hobson's Choice. Hey, Peter, just got in from a great foot massage and a nice long walk. Okay, good stuff. I need to go out soon and get some food. Hobson's Choice again. You say aviation history. My late great father was a World War II pilot on Lancaster bombers. Okay, yeah, that's yeah. I mean, brave man. I mean, they didn't last long. I think they had to do 30 missions. The Americans did 25, then they could go home. I think the Lancaster guys had to do a 30 tour mission. Johnny Dog, hi Peter, just finished night shift, prison officer from Bedford. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Johnny. That's really weird you coming in and saying what you do, because I watched a video about Bedford where they weren't rioting exactly. They were out on the landings and it was kind of like a free for all. I think it was on the news about a year ago or something, but it was Bedford, definitely Bedford prison, because I lived in Kettering. So, I mean, I had to pass Bedford prison on foot when I took my Korean wife. I had to take her to the job centre in Bedford, but it was all part of the immigration process when she got her visa. That was a long time ago, many years ago. But I do remember seeing a video on YouTube. I think it was YouTube or TikTok or somewhere where all the inmates were kind of on the landing, singing and shouting. And I don't know what happened there. But yeah, it's a job I couldn't do. I mean, good luck to you. I mean, it's a very difficult job. I actually had a friend who was a prison officer, but he was in a jail on the Isle of Man, and he said it was the best job he'd ever had. It was so easy going. But the guys there were kind of easy going as well. I'm not saying it's an easy job. I know it's very difficult and it's understaffed as well from the news reports and everything. But yeah, fair play. Right, Hobson's Choice, female mosquito. All right, read that one. Okay, so we've come to the end of the comments. So it's an hour and 10 minutes. It's been a great stream. So 228 people in here, but I've got nothing much to talk about now. I'm pretty much talked out. So if I get a few more comments in, I'll give it a little bit longer. What else can I tell you about? Pat Pong last night, I've already told you. I've told you about the drunk guy that I encountered in 7-Eleven. It's still high season. Everything's still very busy. It's quite hot, actually, for high season. It's normally very cool this time of the year, but it's quite warm. And I got the vest on today. Look, the wife beating vest. Right, Reagan and Carter. Okay, that sounds like a cop show, doesn't it? Reagan and Carter. Actually, it is. It's a Sweeney. Just clicked on, so it sounds like a cop show. Reagan and Carter. Yeah, brilliant. You're nicked. Hello, Peter. I lived in Rushden, not too far from Kettering. Sold up, retired to Thailand 7 months now. Fantastic when you're out supermarkets, etc. Do you feel other Frangs avoid eye contact with you? No, I think other Frangs are more friendly with you here in Thailand. It's like if I was on my own in the UK, I lost contact with all my friends. I was in the hotel industry for 30 years, basically. That was my career, and that's what took me around the world. It was brilliant. Can't complain. But I moved back to the UK with my Korean wife in the year 2000 because the schools I was out the hotel business then, and I didn't have any friends really. I had people that I had a couple of businesses, small time businesses in the UK, and you get friendly with people and stuff. But I never had any what I would call true friends. I lost contact with everybody. But I find here in Thailand it's a lot easier to meet friends, even if I didn't have a YouTube channel, because you're on the same footing, aren't you? So if you go into, an English bar or a Thai restaurant or something like that, and there's a guy there on his own, and you're on the next table, and you start talking to each other, and there's nothing suspicious about it. It's because you're both in the same boat. And sorry about that. A snort. Yeah, no, I just find it a lot easier to meet people out here. Talking about Rushden, I used to for a short time I was in a children's home because my dad died when he was very young. He had a heart attack at 47. Can you believe that? And didn't make it. And I was one of three. I had an elder brother and a younger sister. And my mother couldn't cope. So for about a year, they said, well, why don't you take the middle child, which is me, and put, in a children's home. And in those days, children's homes were not like now. They have their own rooms and their TV and their Xbox and £7-8 a week pocket money, and they can smoke outside. It wasn't like that when I was young. You were in a dormitory, girls over there, boys over there. And I was in a place called Highfield House in Rushden. I actually went recently to have a look at it when I was back in the UK, say recently, a few years ago. It's gone now. It was like an old Victorian house. And they turned it into it was a county council children's home, just a converted kind of Victorian big house in its own grounds, and it's now still owned by it's owned by the NHS now. It's old people's apartments and stuff, and quite reminiscent. I just drove up there to see what was there, and it's all gone now. But yeah, that was in the early 70s. Toby Price, would you consider moving to Pattaya if your rent goes up? No, I wouldn't, Toby, because you can get cheap rent here in Bangkok. It's just where I live. I'm in the center. Okay, I'm near Nana. And if the rent went up to the point that I couldn't afford it or I didn't want to pay it, I'd just move further down the line, the train line. You can go, you've got Asok, and then you've got a few stations before you get to somewhere like On Nut. Tong Law is a very good place to live, and you can actually find, it depends what you're looking for. I mean, I've got a 1-bedroom apartment. It's 50 square meters, actually 50.2. But Ed, who's in just, I nearly said the soy, in another soy quite close by, his is quite small. It's 35 meters, but it's doable, and you can find these. If you look around, I don't use agents, because the agents are trying to sell their best apartments, the ones that are going to, they're not necessarily doing the best job for you. They're doing, you know, they want to make money out of you, right? So that, you know, if they can sell an apartment that's 20,000 and one that's 40,000, obviously they're on commission basis, so they're going to want to sell the one that's 40,000 as opposed to the one that's on 20,000. But in answer to your question, no, I just think, you know, I lived in Pattaya for a year or two, years and years ago, and there's just too much temptation down there. You know, they've got it here in Bangkok, but it's in pockets. You know, you have to go and look for it. But it's, you know, it's everywhere. Pattaya is great. I love Pattaya. I mean, I drive down there in the car. I have a couple of nights in the Flipper Lodge or the Flipper House or the Blackwoods. Sit on the beach all day like a slob, you know, eating seafood or something. Go out and have a nice meal in the evening, a little bit of a drink, and then, you know, drive back to Bangkok. I love it, but I don't think I could live there because here in Bangkok, you go out in the daytime, there's people going to work, there's people working on the street. Yeah, it just feels like a normal environment, but with all the good points, you know what I mean? But never say never, as they say, never say never. I'll put that up because I can't pronounce the name. Just nice to have some nice impressions and a nice talk from paradise, not especially the sunniest Sunday mainland Europe right now. Yeah, I hear you. And you know what's nice about not, you know, these streams that I was doing every single Sunday relentlessly, it's not that I become lazy and I don't want to do them anymore. What I want to do is put out more videos. I'm trying to put out a minimum of 2 videos a week now, so the stories and then one in the week, like I've just done cabbages and condoms with a couple of guys, Jason and Bob, which is a great restaurant, great story behind it. And it's not that I'm getting lazy and I don't want to do them, but it is nice having a Sunday where I don't, you know, it's funny, isn't it? I don't have to do a live stream today, and I've chosen to just do an ad lib one like this, and I've got, you know, 240 people in. It's great. But you've got to feel like it. You know, the problem is when you set a scheduled live streams, if it's too often, I've actually done one, and this is bad, you know, I've actually done 1 or 2 live streams in the past because it's every week. Where I haven't wanted to do it, and I thought, shit, I've got a live stream tonight, I really don't want to do it, but you have to do it because you've advertised it, you know, and you kind of put a brave face on, but you're not enjoying it. But something like this is great, you know, because it doesn't matter how long I stay here, it doesn't matter if I've got no competitions or anything. You know, it's a Sunday, there's no rules, as it were, you know, just having a chat, and yeah, it's good. Right, I visited Hua Hin for the first time. If I don't read your name out, it means I can't pronounce it, okay? It's not I'm ignoring you. I think it's Saipes123. I visited Hua Hin for the first time for a week, found it really refreshing. Not so many farang knocking about on my month's trip to November. Have you been? Oh, absolutely. Hua Hin is one of my favorite go-to places, but the drive down there at the moment is pretty crap because they're doing all the building work on the road. And it seems like they've just stopped and they've closed a couple of lanes. But yeah, Hua Hin's nice. Some people find Hua Hin very boring because they have got a couple of streets of bars and entertainment. You know what I mean? There's no go-go bars, and it's not for everybody. But you know, some people, you know, like for me, for instance, an old hand, I do like Hua Hin. It's got everything I need. You know, it's got some nice restaurants, cheap hotels. You know, you can drive to Chatham. It's half an hour away. Beautiful beach. You get a lot of Thailand top models do photo shoots on Chatham Beach because it's such a nice beach. Thank you, Perbert. That's nice to hear. Am I going to sneeze? If I start sneezing, it'll just go on. Yes, here it comes. Real. Now, normally what happens, I'll sneeze 10 times and I won't sneeze again today. Let's hope that's only once. Yeah, the Frangs are more friendly in Thailand. They are, absolutely. But you got to be careful because there's a false sense of security here. You know, sometimes when you come out here, if you're fairly new, you watch all these videos about be careful when you go to Thailand because there's so many scammers out there, and you think it's the Thais, you know, and most of the time the scammers aren't the Thais, they're the foreigners. You know, they're like, you meet a guy from England or wherever you come from. Just trying to set this light a bit better. Hang on, I look like a red lobster here. Well, I haven't got the light in. That's what it is. Right. Leave it at that. Or is it me? I haven't got my brightness on. Okay. I've turned the brightness down on my laptop so it doesn't reflect my glasses so much. It wasn't that I'm dark. Right, let's leave it. Okay, where was I? What was I talking about? Yeah. So a lot of people come out here for the first time and think, oh yeah, got to be careful because the Thais are all scammers. And they do, you know, they'll try it on, they'll put an extra bill in your pot. But the people you really have to be careful of here are the foreigners, because what happens, you come out here as an English guy like me, right? First time out here, you go down to Pattaya, wow, I've died, I'm in heaven, this is great. You get talking to a few farangs, and then the one guy who doesn't appear to have any way of really making revenue for himself, but he's been in Pattaya for years, and you don't really think about it too much. He's the guy who's like, oh yeah, I know where you come from. I came from 20 miles down the road, and yeah, it's great. I'll show you the ropes. And these are the guys who eventually will say, well, there's, we're friends, and this business opportunity is coming up, and I'm putting in $500,000, and there's a few guys, but as your friends, and you end up putting the $500,000, and you never see the guy again, or it's not, there's some reason why you lose your money. I see so many people losing their money out here because they trust other foreigners. I've got a rule. I just say to myself, if I don't go out and look for it, I won't buy it. So if somebody comes to me with a great deal, I just won't take it. It's like, if I want, for instance, what can I give you an example? If I want to buy a printer and I've decided I need a printer, I'll go and buy a printer. But if I'm walking down the street and a guy comes up to me with a printer and it's the best deal in the world, I still won't buy it because I haven't initiated it. Do you know what I mean? Right. Johnny Dogs. Pete, I'm planning to retire in Canterbury. Amazing place, full of history. Been there, yeah. Beautiful scenery and very friendly people and cheap compared to other parts of Thailand. Yeah, absolutely. It's good. It's a good place to go to. And I remember having breakfast. Simon and I went there because I did a video at Bridge on the River Kwai. But what was more interesting was Hellfire Pass, which is where they dug through the rock by hand. A terrible place. And yeah, I remember we stayed in a small hotel. Can't remember where it was, but it was quite close to the bridge. And in the morning, we had breakfast on this kind of, I guess you'd call it a veranda, right? We were the only two there because we got up a bit later, just made breakfast. And the river was right there, this big wide river flowing really slowly and all this beautiful nature. It was almost like something out of one of those, those Vietnam films that we used to watch, on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah, it was like that. The scenery, the trees and the mountains. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great place. Actually overlooked. It's I might have to go down and do another trip there soon. Right, Anton, have you ever stayed in a room without room safe? My stay this month doesn't have a safe, and I'm a little worried about bringing aerobic instructors back to the room. Yeah, I hear you. You know what? I have stayed in plenty of hotels, budget hotels that don't have a safe in the room, but those few that don't, they have safes behind the reception, always. And there was only ever one place I stayed at in all the years I've been coming to Thailand that never had any safes in the rooms and never had any safe in the reception. But this was a hotel which was a kind of a beach resort budget with kind of bungalows and one kind of corridor of rooms. And they had a 24-hour office. But what the manager did, he gave me a manila envelope, A4 envelope with a string, and he said, put everything here, you'll be fine. So I put it all in there, trusted him. He sealed it. I signed it where it had been, where he sealed it. And he put it in the drawer of his where he sits, his drawer, and he locked it, and nothing happened. So I wouldn't worry about it, Anton. Like, if there's no safes in the room, there's probably other things you can do. And if worst case comes to nuts, the worst scenario, don't hide anything in your room thinking of the girls don't find it, because I've known guys to hide in very interesting places, and the girls, they know where to look. Don't think about hiding money in the aircon because they know that one. Don't think about behind the toilet or in the system because they know about that. These girls are well trained. They they'll take the gold out of your teeth I'll tell you a funny story now as well. They'll take the gold out of your teeth. I'll tell you a great story actually a friend of mine used to do. I won't mention names, okay, but true story. So this is going back about 20 years. So a friend of mine, he used to go back and forth from Cambodia to Thailand because he had a bit of a business in Cambodia, but he preferred to stay in Thailand. And in those days, he used to buy fake gold chains from Cambodia. And at today's money, let's talk baht, okay? Everybody's been to Thailand, baht, right? So let's just say at today's money, he'd buy a gold chain in Cambodia for 200 baht, fake, of course, but they were so realistic because the weight was there. And whatever they used to coat the chain looked quite genuine. And in a low light, maybe not if you held it in a light like this and held it up and looked for stamps, of course it's genuine. But at 5 o'clock in the morning with the curtains closed and only a bathroom light on, you look at it, pick it up, it's kind of real, right? And this guy, what he used to do, he used to pick up bar girls, right, and beer bar girls and stuff like that. But what he used to do, when he used to come over here, he used to bring a few of these chains that cost him like 200-300 baht. And then what he'd wear them, and then he'd go out and he'd pick up a bar girl. So at today's rate, I'll tell you about the rates as well. They're quoting in Pat Pong, Jesus Christ. But he'd go out and just say the rate today, he picked up some girl and the rate's 2,000 baht, okay, to come back and, play Connect 4 in the room. So what he used to do, he'd bring these chains from Cambodia. So he'd go to sleep wearing this chain that cost him 200-300 baht, aerobics wearing the same chain. And of course, the girl, they're not stupid, right? So what he used to do is when he went to sleep, he used to take the chain off and put it on the dresser next to his bed, the little table next to his bed. So what would happen is he'd go to sleep and he'd wake up in the morning. And of course, the chain and the girl was always gone. And I was like, well, what did you do that for? And he said, because I had aerobics for 200 baht or 300 baht. So what had happened is the girl would see the chain, think, wow, gold chain, 30, 40,000 baht. She'd take the chain, sneak out while he's asleep, or he'd pretend to be asleep, and watch this happen. And of course, she couldn't come back and complain to the hotel or the police or anything because she's stolen his gold chain. There you go. Great story. Fitzy, it's nice laid back vibe when you just come online. Pre-play. It is, and I enjoy it. I really do. And I mean, I've got quite a lot of people in here. Oh, I'm really surprised. Over 250 people. But it's like I say, you don't know. I mean, I could come on unplanned, and if nobody comes into the stream, then it will be a very short stream, won't it? It's going well at the moment. I'll stay for a while longer, but I'm dying for a cup of coffee. But I will make one after this. Right, George, haven't seen you in the stream for a long time. I was thinking about you last week, actually. Going to Thailand today. Okay, so you'll be in the hot pot place in Terminal 21. What's it called? H&MK. You'll be in there with your speciality plate of duck, I guess. Right, go for Dan. You look good and relaxed. You should do these random live streams more often. Yeah, okay. Like I said earlier on, it's quite, when you do random streams, the biggest thing is you're thinking, well, will I be sitting there and there's nobody to talk to? I remember, I'm not going to mention his name, but I remember I remember one YouTuber. He's quite big now, but in the early days, he started a little bit before me, about a year before me. But he's like me now. He has green screens and pictures and videos, and he's hit that kind of level now. But I remember his early streams. He used to be sitting in his apartment, in his house in England, and he didn't know about green screens or anything. And he'd be sitting there like this, and he'd just press go live, and he'd be sitting there, and he wouldn't speak. He'd just be watching like this. Because nobody knew he was coming, right? So he's sitting here like this, watching, and then he'd get one person and say, oh, we've got Dave in the stream. That's nice. We've got one person in, and it's a little bit like that, but it's fun, isn't it? It's fun. Right. David. Excuse me for 1 second, so I'll be snorting. You'll probably still hear it. Oh dear. Right, apologies if you heard that, but if I didn't do that, I'd be sniffing constantly. There's nothing worse than being next to somebody who's sniffing. Right, I took the night bus from Hua Hin to Surat Thani, beginning of December. 2 nights later, the same bus went off the road and hit a tree. I know it's frightening. I will never take those. I mean, that's unusual because that was a large bus, wasn't it? As far as I remember, a few people killed. Yeah. I'll never take the minibuses. These Toyota 8-seater minibuses. I just think they're really dangerous. A lot of them have had accidents. A lot of foreigners have been killed in them. And even if you don't get killed, I've heard horror stories like of 8 seats and they're just ramming people in there. You've got backpackers in there with these huge rucksacks. They're holding them like this on their laps, and they squeeze up to 14 people in an 8-seater bus. What you got to remember is if you take the bus from somewhere like Edgermeyer, the big blue buses, you get an assigned seat and they're air conditioned, and those drivers are on a salary. Why does my head keep going like that? It's because I'm trying to. Hang on, that's it. So those bus drivers, they're on a salary. So and they have stop-off points where they check in and everything. So they're on a salary. So it doesn't matter how late they are or whatever, as long as they do the job they're getting paid for. Whereas the those minibus drivers are only paid for when their foot's on the metal. So if they're hanging about, they're not making money. So that's why when they're driving like maniacs because they just want to get down, dump their cargo, which is you, and come back. But I'm just scared. I've got a car now. Obviously, I don't take them, but I'm just scared to death. I just wouldn't take them. Michael Ward, it's nice to have a routine, but things can work out well when spare of the moment and easy. Yeah, absolutely. Nathan the Pompey. What's that? Some names here. Nathan the Pompey posse, is it? Walking around my posse round on this dark morning, listening to your good vibes. Okay, great. I used to, when I was in the UK and I went out walking my dog, I used to have, remember that little job I had where I used to take these, I used to have a mini, not my minibus. Well, it was, let's not talk about minibuses. I used to have a minibus. I used to pick these children up from the villages, drop them off at school. They're disadvantaged children, right? I'd be home by 9, just after 9. And then I used to take my dog out. I used to listen to, what's his name? Nick, Radio London, LBC. Nick, is it not Farage? Is it Nick Farage? No, that's Nigel Farage. Nick, I can't remember his second name, but really good talk show, you know, and I used to listen to him and it made the difference, made the walk go quicker. What's his second name? Nick. It's not Farage, that's Nigel Farage. Nick, he's got a funny name, but you know the guy, I mean, he's quite a big guy. I stayed at a place called Charlerne, is it? Hotel. It was good, nice price as well. Yeah, good. David Vigil, Shane, I stayed at the Hotel Alley. It's very close to Horhin Beach. Walkable. Okay. Who's this constantly? Okay. Let me just tell him I'm in a live stream. He doesn't realize. Let me just tell him. Okay, Bernie, how you doing, Bernie? You're saying a great bye, enjoying the live stream. Hi, Bernie. Yeah, just off the cuff, as it were. Might go for one of them pizzas, you know what I mean, later on. But I was talking about losing weight. Right, Real Deal TV. My good friend that I'm talking with on this trip for his first time told me today that his friends and family said not to go overseas. Sad that people can get jealous over someone traveling. Yeah, and it's like the old thing. I remember when the few people I did know in the UK, every time I came back to Thailand, they used to say, oh, you're going for the girls, aren't you? You're going for the girls. Well, you know, I mean, you can't say no, but then again, it's not all that Thailand's about, is it? Franco, handsome man, what are you saying? Anton Caradan, just go and buy a cheap one from Lazada. Okay, I've missed that from Anton. What were you asking? What was he asking? Was that quite a while ago? Have you seen? Okay, yeah. But the problem is, yeah, you can get a safe off Lazada, Franco, for 500 baht, like $12.50, $15. But the problem is, it's about that size, and you know, a smart bar girl will just go out and buy a big carrier bag and put the safe in the bottom of it with something on the top of it, and she can get away with it. It's got to be screwed to the wall, hasn't it? So she can't take it away. Yeah, I used to have one in the UK, Hobson's Choice set. I have a book type of safe from Lazada in my condo. If I'm understanding you right, you get a book about that size. And it looks like the spleen doesn't look real because obviously it's plastic, but I used to have one in England. It's like looks like a real book. It was the New English Dictionary, but when you open it up, there's like a metal box in there with a key, and you can put notes and watch and all the rest of it inside it, and then you put it between two books. But I'm sure any practice thief, especially bar girls, I mean, I'm sure they would know if they were looking for money, they'd know to look at the books. But maybe not in Thailand because it's not something that's so big here, is it? X-Free Lunch. Hi, Peter. You have read a few of my stories. Okay, thanks for them. 3 months on, I should give you a follow-up. I moved directly to Patty from Brazil, so I remember the story because you said Brazil, and after 4 times, I finally found the perfect place. Good. Okay, yeah, let me know about it. But when you send it in, tell me, you know, mention the Brazil bit so I know it's you. Okay, some advice for Anton now. Maybe get a combination padlock for UK. Yeah, okay, that's a really good idea. I forgot to mention that because that's one thing I used to do. So when I used to, before I had YouTube, so I used to travel to Thailand. I had a business once in Thailand. I think I've mentioned this before, where you can't do it now because they sell direct from China. But I used to go to Chinatown and I used to buy everything to do with displaying jewelry, you know, boxes, velvet things that you hang chains on and stuff. And that ran for about 2 years. And I'd come out here every 2 months. I'd buy about £5,000 of stock and I'd sell that for 10,000. So 5,000 was used for my hotel, traveling and all the rest of it. And it was a good excuse to come back to Thailand. And something I used to do then, I used to have a laptop because I used to, you know, put all the stock on there. And I used to go to Sampeng, do all the shopping, leave it with the cargo, the courier, and go back by air. But the point is, I used to have a laptop to work on for a few hours when I got back 4 or 5 in the evening. And then I couldn't get it into the safe. So I used to have one of those plastic Samsonite suitcases, you know, the 20-kilo ones. And what I used to do, I used to put my laptop or anything valuable in the suitcase and lock the suitcase. And the reason for that is if, you know, you could be gone in the daytime. And if I've got a laptop, say, on a table, the cleaner comes in and she she needs to go to another floor and pick up a couple of rolls of toilet paper, and the door's wide open and it's quiet, and she doesn't bother shutting it. She just goes up to another room and she takes some chemicals or some toilet paper, and she's walking by. Well, if a bar girl or somebody leaves somebody's room and they're walking down the corridor and they look in and there's no one around and there's a laptop sitting there, it's very tempting, isn't it? If they can't see the laptop, then they're not going to steal it. But the other reason I used to do it in a suitcase like that is because if you put your valuables in a suitcase, it's unlikely that somebody's going to walk through reception with a full-size Samsonite suitcase, isn't it? So yeah, I don't know what sort of case you take, Anton, when you go to Thailand, but that might be an option. Artrolax, good morning, Peter. Nice to catch up on a live stream. Yeah, hello, not scheduled, but nice to catch up. Gary Louch, laugh out loud, love it. Hobson's Choice, great story, yes. Out of all the stories I've ever told on these little stories from friends about this and the gold change and all that, my favorite ever story was a 7-Eleven girl. Remember the German guy who said to the girl in patio, okay, I'll be your sponsor, but I'm not going to have you working in the bar, and I'm not going to have you sitting around the village. You have to get a job. And she did the 7-Eleven scam. That was funny. Best story I've ever heard. No name, okay. The thing is, you say cool story, but it's absolutely true. I mean, the guys here in Thailand now, I speak to him on the phone all the time. I think he's about 67 now, but there's no trick in the book that he doesn't know. Thank you, Gary Lunch. So, Arto Lax, I stay one time at, I think was Soy 8 or 7, Easterly Place Hotel. They have not had safes in the room, but behind the reception desk, they had safe box. Like Peter telling about, the hotels have safe box. Yeah, I stayed there. It's Soy 8. It used to be called the Eastern Inn. I was one of the first guests in there. It opened around 96, 97. No, maybe 98, okay? But as you walk up from the beach road on up Soy 8, it's not very far. You've got the Hang Loose Bar on the left, and then there used to be a Family Mart there, and that was the Easterney Inn. It's now called the Easterney Hotel. But as far as I can tell, it's closed, because I was down there recently. It looks closed. And there used to be a little, as you walk into the hotel, there was a Family Mart, and on the left, it was a little travel agent, and then that became a Subway, and then it became something else. I can't remember, but I was there recently. It looked closed. But there's actually 3 Easterney hotels on Soy 8, and I think they're all closed. But you're right. They didn't have safes in the room. They just had, and I had an experience there that pissed me off, actually, because one time I checked in and I used the safety box behind, so you stand at reception, all the boxes are behind, and the girl at the counter, I came back after one day, I needed some more money out the box, right? Because in those days, I didn't keep going to the ATM. And I said, oh, can I have my box, please? And I had to sign the card. Well, instead of taking the box out and putting it on the counter for me and then walking off, what she did, she put the box on the counter and she opened it up. And I'm like, what are you doing? You don't open up somebody's box, but you can't get through to them. I wasn't really pissed off. I just thought, you don't do that. You don't open somebody's safety box. Philip, hi from Auckland, New Zealand, veteran of Soy Cowboy, last there in March. These days, Jakarta is for me. I didn't enjoy Jakarta that much, Philip, but then again, it was a lot of years ago. I was there around 1990. I worked in a hotel called the Borobudur Hotel, and the hotel was okay, but it's let me just tell him I'm on a live stream. This is my friend Bob. Bob, I'm actually on a live stream. Are you there? I am. I've been on for an hour and a half. You go onto YouTube and you'll see him on a live stream. So I'm going to hang up now, right? He won't believe I'm on this. Call you later. Right, that's my friend Bob. He's the guy who I did the video with in Cabbages and Condoms the other day. Bob, he wears the cap and the designer shirts and all the rest of it. What were we talking about now? Yeah, Jakarta. Yeah, I'm sure it's changed. Somewhere else that I've had a few people I know here go, and they said it's really good fun, was KL in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. And again, years ago I was there, and I wasn't really impressed with it, but apparently it's really good now, just going from what they say. Chris Card, Nick Ferrari. That's it, Nick Ferrari. Yeah, what did I say? Nick Farage. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Andrew Macari, often usually 14-seater minivans. I'm talking about the small ones, the Toyota ones. They're really nice looking vans. We don't have them in the UK. I don't know for what reason. Maybe they're made here and the tax is too much. You can actually get, when you go to Edgamai, if you take the bus down to Patti, they've got the full-size buses, but they've got the smaller ones, which are also very safe. And I think they're 26-seaters. I once went down and sat next to the driver in the front seat. I mean, better than a taxi, right? But it's those little minibuses that scare me, and they're all, you always read. There was one where they burnt to death. Come off the road and half the passengers burnt to death about a year ago. Right, Sean Jens. Watching Netflix, The Crown. Good show about the monarchy. I'm in the USA. Yeah, it's not the sort of thing that appeals to me, really. I've seen it advertised. What have I watched on Netflix recently? Do you know what I don't like about Netflix? Is there's so many. It's not I'm racist or anything. I don't want to have to read subtitles. You see something, you think, oh, that looks good, and it's in Spanish or it's in something else. They've got so much foreign series and movies on Netflix now. When I'm sitting with a beer in the evening, I just want to watch and listen to it. I don't want to have to read the text. Yeah, a lot of people say Nick Ferrari now. That's it. Yeah, that's who I used to listen to when I was out with my dog. Right, Waza. Retirement in Thailand this year. I will be moving to Sisaket. I really enjoy the countryside and living life as per normal. So I would imagine you've got a Tilak who comes from there. That's good. It's not for everybody, but the plus point is you'll live on very little as opposed to living in somewhere like Bangkok. I think at the moment I'm spending I could cut down, but at the moment I'm not kind of trying. I'm probably spending about I'd say 70 to 80,000 baht a month, but I'm living quite well on that. I could get that right down if I had to. Michael Simmons, Blimey Pete, thought it was Ramble for a minute. Yeah, got my wife beaten vest on there. Look, this is a designer one, Longsdale. Yeah. No, it's because when I was cleaning the apartment this morning. There's no one here. I'm on my own. So I was cleaning the apartment, did my washing, hung it out, made a cup of coffee. I was tinkering on the PC and I thought, what should I do now? Because I might be meeting somebody later for pizza or something. I thought, I've got nothing to do. And I thought, I wonder what would happen. I was actually, and I don't even wear this in the house, actually. I was kind of semi-naked, but I thought that'd be a bit too much for you if you're having breakfast in the UK at the moment or somewhere else, right? So I thought, I'll slip this on. I thought, I'll just press go live and see what happens. And yeah, it's been very good. 1 hour, 40 minutes, 255 people in. And we're still going as long as the comments keep coming in. Yeah, you remember that one, right? Hobson's Choice. If there's anybody in here who hasn't heard the 7-Eleven story, I mean, I don't want to be repetitive, but it's a great story. And if enough of you say, yeah, I want to hear it, I'll say it really quick. And maybe those who have heard it before can make a quick cup of tea or something while I'm telling it, because it's such a funny story. But I don't want to just be repetitive if everybody in here has listened to it. Yeah, Michael, got the old Ramble shirt on there. Right, Arto Lax, yes, they have 3 or 4 East Indian hotels close by, really cheap hotels, good value for money. I think they're all closed now, though. As I say, I was down there a few weeks ago, and they just look like one of them at the top. As you go up Soyat on the left, that's definitely closed. You don't see any lights on or anything. I remember years ago in Pattaya, I checked into a hotel. And it was a short-time hotel. I didn't know. I was with my wife, and I hadn't been to Pattaya so many times. I mean, I'm talking really a long time ago. And it's kind of like when you come to the top of Soy 8 and you're on Second Road, it's one of those hotels as if you're on the other side of Second Road and you're like, oh, we're going to Soy 8 there or Soy 7. It's one of those hotels, a kind of short-time hotel. And we booked in, and my wife, my Korean wife, she's saying, this bedspread looks a bit kind of, what's that stain? What's that there? And I'm like, Jesus, never again. Maybe too much information. Nathan again. Morning, Peter. 3 weeks today, then off to the land of smiles. 1 week in Bangkok and 2 weeks in Pattaya. Second visit, but can't bloody wait. Yeah, I'll tell you right off the back now. If you're here for the entertainment side of things, the bars and stuff, it's much better value in Pattaya. In a bar in Pattaya, you can get a bottle of a regular bottle of Heineken or San Miguel Light, something like that. Generally, anywhere between 60, 70 baht, 75 maybe. You're looking here in Bangkok in the entertainment venues, 180 baht, even 200 baht for a small beer. It's so expensive. I was going to tell you about prices. So I did a bit of a market survey last night. I was out in Pat Pong and I asked a couple of Mamasans. I just said, how much is bar fine? How much is short time, long time? So it's comical, really, because I made out I was a rookie in a couple of bars, and some of the prices you'll think I'm making it up, right? So the general sort of believable prices that a lot of the Mamasans told me. So you go into a bar, you have a drink, you want to take a lady out to go dine or play Connect Four with, or just have some company with, you know what I'm saying, right? So they were quoting me anywhere between 900 baht and 1100 baht. This is in Pat Pong for the bar fine, okay? And then I said, how much for the lady? And she was like, well, short time is 3,000 baht, long time is 6,000 baht. So that was kind of average, right? Which is, take it or leave it. But that seemed to be the genuine. But I went into one bar. I think it was one. I won't name the bar. I went into one bar, And the Mama-san was all very friendly with me and everything. She said, "Oh, you just come to?" I said, "Yeah, I holiday today," because sometimes I like to play, right? So I said, "Yeah, I come holiday today." How long you say? I said, 1 month. I never been here before. Of course, she starts salivating then, doesn't she? Because, 1 month, he's never been here. Victim. So I bought her a drink just for fun because I was with Ed and I thought, right, I'll, have a bit of fun here. And she said, "Oh, yeah, you have a girlfriend?" I was like, no, never. Maybe I come here for Thai wife, just joking around. And so I said, "Oh, my friend told me you can take lady from bar." She says, yes, you have to pay bar fine. I said, "How much?" She said, 5,000 baht. And I was like, "Oh, okay. I said, "How much for lady?" She says, 10,000 baht. I said, "Oh, so 15,000 baht bar fine lady." She said, yes, but very good lady. I'm like, "I'm sure she is." I'm thinking, Jesus Christ. Then I started speaking Thai to her and she got pissed off. Right, Shane, Bob, shouldn't do that really, should I? Because I could get into trouble. It's hard to resist sometimes, though. Zach, been binge watching your videos, super entertaining, learning a lot. Hope all is well. Okay, thank you, Zach. I hope I pronounced that right. Hobson's Choice again. The little minibus, definitely a no-no from me too. I see them a lot in the morning near the SCB HQ, dropping people off, rammed in. Yeah. There's better ways to get around. No name. Yes, those minibuses have a full canister of petrol where everybody's sitting. No thanks. Michael Mackin, is it? Best way to get a taxi from Higher Regency Bangkok to Pattaya, like in Surprise Stream. Yeah. A lot of people they fly into Suvarnabhumi and they go straight down to Pattaya. Well, of course, Suvarnabhumi Airport is kind of halfway between Bangkok and, well, it's 40 minutes actually out of Bangkok, out of the Sukhumvit area. The old Dong Muang Airport that we used to fly in from was the other way, it's kind of north of Bangkok. So it's a lot easier and cheaper now, isn't it? Now you believe me now, Mr. J. So you just phoned me 10 minutes ago. You were like, no. I said, "I'm on a live stream, Bob." He said, no way. "Hi, Peter. Sorry to call you while you're doing a live stream. Had no idea." No, it's all part of the entertainment, Bob. No problem whatsoever. It's just an ad hoc stream. I didn't know I was going to do it. Look, got the windows open, got the wife beating shirt on, and can't believe we've been going for an hour and 46 people. I've got nearly 300 people in the stream. But yeah, I'll give you a call later. Michael Ward, yes, tell the 7-Eleven story. Jet Malone, please say the 11 story fast. Sean Jens, Vans, I take them very day to and work Chonburi too, but yeah, I hate it. Yeah, I'll just put that up there for everyone to read. Steve Burbridge, 7-Eleven story, yes, please. I thought everybody had heard the 7-Eleven story because I've told that story at least 3 times over the last 4 years. Hobson Choice, get 300 in the stream, repeat the 7-Eleven. I don't think I'm going to hit 300. I'm doing very, very well at the moment for an Hobson. Yeah, okay. A lot of people asking for the 7-Eleven story. Okay, so I'm going to do it really quick. Okay. Not really. It hasn't all gone woke yet. There you go. Put that on the screen. Right. Okay, 7-Eleven story. Really quick, though, because I've told it many times. So, when guys come here, they're looking for that special girl, right? They don't want somebody who in a bar. Some guys find girls in a bar and they kind of try to re-educate them so they can make them a proper girlfriend. And you know how that ends up 9 times out of 10. So what the 7-Eleven story is a great story. So there's a German guy. He'd gone to Pattaya on holiday a few times. And I think this was his 3rd or 4th trip. And he went. I hate those fans. It'll get louder. Or is it gone the other way? Because you won't be able to hear me if it comes right outside. Anyway, so this German guy, he's been 3 or 4 times. So he's not naive, but 3 or 4 times, not really a lot, really, is it? So he goes to this one particular bar and he does the rounds like everybody else does. But one night he goes to this one particular bar and he meets this girl and he takes her out for a short time, no problem, And then he meets her the next day, have a bit of lunch, and he's finding, I like this girl. She's got a nice character. She's not asking for too much. And why should I waste my time going around the bar? She's nice. So he bar finds her like 2 or 3 nights. And you know what happens after that? 3, 4 nights. He's probably there for a month. I don't know. But he stays with her for a week or 2 weeks and he becomes close and they become boyfriend, girlfriend. And he's infatuated with her. And to the point where, I just don't want you going with other guys. You've got to get out the bar. So cut a long story short. So what he says to her, he gives her a bit of an ultimatum. He thinks he's been clever, right? So he says, right, I've seen this with other people. I watch YouTube and all the rest of it. I'm not going to send you money every month. You tell me you're not working in the bar. Then you go up to your village. And then as soon as I go back to Germany, you're going to be back in the bar. I know all them tricks. I'm streetwise. I'm not going to fall for that. So she's scratching her head thinking, yeah, okay, then fair enough. And she's like, well, what do you want? Tell me what you want. He's like, right, I know in a regular job you won't make that much money like you work in a bar, but I don't want you working the bar. You know, if you want to be my girlfriend and I'm serious about you, I'm not going to go with other girls in Germany, or not that you can get any in Germany, but anyway, you know, I want to be serious about you, but there's no way I'm going to entertain you working in a bar, because you'll say it's just drinks, and you know what happens. You go out with guys and all that. So I'm willing to, if you get a real job, I know you're not making as much, so I'm willing to kind of sponsor you to the point where if you make 10,000 baht a month working in a factory or whatever it is, I'll double that and send you 20,000 a month. But I want you exclusively for me. When I come to Pattaya, you are my girlfriend. From you meet me at the airport, you drop me off at the airport, and that's the deal. And she's thinking, okay, fair enough. So he goes back to Germany. He says to the girl, right, okay, so you're going to look for a job, aren't you? Yeah, I don't want to work in the bar, Tilak. I love you. You're my boyfriend. I'm going to find a job. As soon as I find a job, I'll let you know. So he's back in Germany for a week or so. All of a sudden, he gets a FaceTime call on his phone, right? So there's this girl with a 7-Eleven cap on, a 7-Eleven shirt, and she's in the stock room of 7-Eleven. She's like, I got a job, Tilak. Look, I'm on a break. The manager just popped out. I can't stay long. Look, I got a job. And he's like, great. So cut a long story short, he starts sending her the money, right? So he's like, well, she's like, I'll call you when I can, you know, because I'm at work, I can't take breaks, and because of the time difference here, when I finish my shift, you'll be asleep at 3-4 in the morning, whatever it is. Okay, so he's like, yeah, great. He's happy as a pig in you know what. And so this goes on for a few weeks. You know, every now and again she calls him from the storeroom. You know, 7-Eleven. You know, hat. She's in the storeroom talking quietly. Can't stay long, darling. Tilak, the boss is just nipped out. I just called you to say I love you and I'm working hard. And yeah, it's not bad in 7-Eleven. Anyway, cut a long story short. So what this girl had been doing was, she's got a friend who she knows who works in 7-Eleven, all right? But this girl in 7-Eleven is not a bar girl. She works in 7-Eleven, but they're friends, or they were friends in the past, right? So the deal was, what happens is this bar girl goes to 7-Eleven at a certain time when they know the manager won't be there, because the manager goes out for whatever reason for 15 minutes or half an hour at a certain time of the day. And that's when she used to go there. The genuine girl who worked at 7-Eleven with the bar girl would go into the stock room. She'd take her shirt off, take her cap off, give it to her friend. Her friend would give her 100 baht or something, you know, something silly. And she'd put this 7-Eleven hat on, put this shirt on, phone her Tilak in Germany in this 7-Eleven uniform, hang up, give her back the shirt, give her back the hat, and go back and work in the bar again. And that's a true story. I mean, unbelievable, isn't it? Really clever stuff. You know, I don't really know how it ended, but I just know that part of the story. So, yeah, you know, Perbert, think the prices you quoted seem about right. Yeah. I might have to do a bit of a recce in Nana. I didn't ask about prices in there last night. I should have done, just for the stream, yeah. Toby Price, I'm writing my story just now, Peter, but I think it's going to be a long one. So just to give you some guidance, if you do it in a Word document and make it Arial font 14, it should kind of be anywhere between minimum 4 pages and maximum, say, 7 at a push 8, because I know if I read 10 pages out, that's about half an hour. So I don't want to read out one story. I like to read 2 or 3. So try to make it around 5-6 pages. But at the moment, I'm short of stories. So even if you go to 8 pages, I could probably do it in one sitting, as it were. Leeds, good morning. How you doing? EOS, my mate checked into a room over a ladyboy bar on Soy Pothole for Christmas. Just gone. Wow. Michael Simmons, you're looking healthy, Pete. Nice to have your show earlier, a bit from Glastonbury. Somebody else said I was looking healthy, and I was sloshed last night. I went to Patpong, got leathered, then headed over to Nana at nearly 2 in the morning and had a couple in Spankies, where I had an altercation with a lady who ran down the bar with my phone, one of the staff. And then I came back and I bought a new sandwich toaster, so I filled up on cheese and onion toasties. So I'm as red as a beetroot, and I'm not eating. I'm going on a fast today to get rid of them toasties. But thank you. Hobson's Choice, 15,000. Yeah. Well, I suppose there's some guys in the old days before the internet. I suppose there's some guys who would believe it, right? You're in a bar and the Mama San's been all friendly and she's like, 5,000. Yeah. Jason, you haven't answered my message. Good afternoon, Peter. I've made from the local market and say hi to Bob. Yeah, Bob's in as well. But I did send you a message about last night, Jason, but you seem very reluctant to answer that one back. But good to have you in the stream. Call you later. Yeah, is your movie star, the 15,000 lady. The Watch Wally. Did you know how the 7-Eleven story ended? Did they marry and live happily ever after? I don't know how it ended. Like I said just now, I only knew about that part of the story, and I tried to find out what happened, but it's like in Thailand, everything moves so quickly. And you're called the watch Wally, so I'm presuming you're into your watches, right? So I bought one of these hooky Rolexes last night. I was showing people earlier in the stream. He wanted 4,500 baht for it. It was 2,500 baht. But the reason I bought it, like I'm repeating myself now, but it's 2 hours in nearly, because it doesn't have those silly fake diamonds, like glass and fake gold and stuff. It almost looks real. But the main reason is it doesn't have a battery. It's like the real one. It's got perpetual motion. And as long as I give it a shake now again, it'll keep ticking. And I checked the time. It's keeping really good time from last night. If it breaks down in a week, it doesn't really matter. But it looks nice. I'm happy with it. I shan't wear it. I'll wear my regular watch. I just bought it because it looks nice. Right. Matteo, one time I told massage girls in Patong Phuket that I arrived, they were still telling me 5,000 Thai baht for 1 hour massage. I just laughed and said, I just arrived, but here many times. Bye. Yeah. You can actually have some fun, but you got to be careful. Right. Andrew Byron, think I'm going to try the necklace trick. Only don't reception check with you. Everything okay when she departs. Oh, don't forget, Andrew. We're talking 30 years ago. He used to do this. I don't even know if you can get those chains now. And if you could you get them into the country? And you probably can't. And it's probably all changed now. But in the old days, the girls probably I don't even know if they showed their ID cards. They probably just showed it, but they didn't retain them. But yeah, that was good. He had a lot of go-go bar girls for the equivalent of like 200 baht. Toby Price, I'm only on page 1. Okay. Bob, hello, geezers. Good to see you yesterday. I weren't invited, was I? I'm only joking. I was on a mission, my own mission, on the mean streets of Patpong. There is a few streets around Patpong. Patpong 1, 2, 3, 4. Hobson's Choice. I have rejiggled my story finally, and it's about 5 to 6 pages long, so shouldn't be longer than 7 or 8 minutes. It can be longer than that. It can be up to, say, 15 minutes is okay. It's just when I do a 30-minute sit-in, I know 10 pages in Arial font 14 is about half an hour. I like to do half an hour uploads. Ken Christopherson. Hi, Peter, from a cold Denmark, laying sick and snot and fever. Little bit too much information there, Ken, but I hope you get well soon. Arto, I was Patong last year at Songkran. I tried to find a foot massage, 200 baht. Every massage salon wanted 500 baht. Why they're working? If they not want customers, everyone just drinking outside. They vary, and you can get different levels of massage. If you just have a straight Thai massage, I think even around here it's 300 baht, because that's not how they make their money, and they get kind of super cheesed off if that's all you want. So I've heard. Right, Jet Ben 555. How's Patpong now? When I went there in 2022, it was very dead. Yeah, I talked about it earlier in this stream, so I won't go on about it too long. But it's open. Most of it's open. You've got the market down the middle. There's a beer garden there now, which is selling food. And it was quite lively, but it was very, very quiet for a Saturday night. Went into the King's Group bars, which are normally packed. And I do mean like packed. You can't, really difficult to get a seat, but probably half a dozen people in there. I think, unfortunately, what's happening now, because of Nana and Cowboy and RCA and all these other good places, Patpong was the original, but it's kind of like, what do you call it? It's tired, isn't it now? And people are like, where should we go tonight? And it's like, they don't say Patpong, do they? They still get a lot of tourists down there. People who are flying in for a holiday, couples especially, they have a good live band down there, surprisingly. When you walk through Patpong, there's a corner bar that cuts through to Foodland. I think it's Foodland. Is it that one? Yeah. And it's on the corner. It's quite a big kind of loungy type open bar. And they have live music. It's pretty good. Okay, Michael. Right. The watch, Wally. Rolex date just 7K UK for the real one. Yeah. My wife, I was going to buy one because I said earlier, my wife worked for a jewelry company, Goldsmiths, big jewelry company. She's not there anymore. She was a supervisor, and she could use her staff discount once a year, and she could get products at 30% of the sale price as long as they weren't on sale. And I nearly got one. I should have got one. And that's actually the watch I like. You are a watch guy by the sounds of it. I mean, that's the real one I would get if I was going to get one, because it doesn't look silly, does it? It's just stainless steel. And I like the color of the dial. You can get a black one. But the other thing I like about it, you probably can't tell from the picture, it's a 42 millimeter face, because some of them are like 38 millimeters and they just look crap. But it's not really focusing, look. But it's a perpetual movement. That's what did it for me, I'll probably get a knock at the door any minute now. Right, Bob. I just woke up 14:30, had another late night. You have a late night every night, Bob. Bob Gier, he lives fairly close to me. Okay, he's kind of living out here full time, going back for a few days. But I mean, he stays up till like 4 or 5 in the morning, wakes up at 2, 3 in the afternoon, and has his breakfast. Singer tank tops go the best with a fake Rolex. Yeah, I don't have a Singer one. I've got this Longsdale one. Right, Fitzy, laugh at that, Bob Gier. Okay. Andrew Byron, first time poster, great show. You've grown on me. Thank you very much. Clive Allen, good afternoon, Peter. And could this be the last one? Just wait, we're 15 seconds away from 2 hours. I think I'm going to call it a day now, guys. I've got to have another coffee. You need a watch to see if the 2 hours are over. I've got a regular watch. Ian Roberts, 7K, well used second hand. You can get some watches here in MBK, the genuine ones, and they do second-hand ones. But the problem is I don't know the age of them. Some of them are from the 80s and early 90s. I don't want one that old. I wish that was real, actually. I really like that one. If you wore it anywhere else in the world, it kind of looks like a genuine one. But I won't wear it here because people know, like, you know, I could bluff, couldn't I? If somebody says to me, is that a real one? I could say, that's the problem with Thailand. Because there's so many fakes, everybody assumes your Rolex is fake. How dare you? But I won't. Okay. Thank you, Michael Ward. Ian Roberts says there's 7K well-used second-hand. Okay, so we've just hit the 2 hours, guys. It's been a really good stream, nearly 300. I'm definitely going to do some more of these ad lib. Your tag watch looks nice. That's a genuine one, but that was my wife bought me that for my birthday about a couple of years ago. That was £1,500. That's a tag. I'm not a big watch guy. I do like nice watches. I wouldn't wear a kind of Seiko. I've got friends who are like, well, if it tells the time, it's reliable. What does it matter? But I can't afford to buy like Rolexes and stuff, really. I'm not rich, like certain people in the stream I know. I won't mention any names. But yeah, that does me. There's a guy, I'm not going to mention him here, right? But he wears a watch. I think it's something like £500,000, okay, on one wrist. And on the other wrist, he wears a real Rolex Daytona Platinum, which a second-hand one sold recently for £125. Okay, so the guy's he wears one watch to tell the time here and one watch so he knows the time where his family are, or his sons or something. And I remember when I first met him, I was around his house. I said, "Hey, look at this watch I got here. It's £1,500." And I looked at his and I thought, he's not going to be impressed, is he? His watches are worth more than what my 4-bedroom house was. Yeah, Ian, that's from Klom Tom, Chinatown, 30,000. But that you won't tell the difference from the new one. Fitzy, very nice stream today, Peter. Hope to catch another one very soon. Yeah, let's see if I'm not doing anything on this. Maybe I'll do the alternative Sunday. So if I've got a stream on Sunday night, I mean, I can't believe how many's in. This is actually more than a regular stream. Maybe this is a time to do it. What time did I start? 2 hours ago. So the time now is 3 to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, perfect. What's that? Chris God, 4 guys in England have just been sentenced for killing someone over a fake watch. Okay, hopefully that won't happen to me. Love the wife beater shirt. Right, okay, so I'm done and dusted. Let's just pick the camera up. It's connected to the computer, so I can't really roam around with it. I was going to show you my apartment. Let me just take it out of here. Can it do that? No, so I'm here. Look, there's a view. So I'll just show. I don't know if the wire's going to stretch. Let me show you a little bit around here. See where I am. I am here. Hang on. Right. So this is where I'm working. Look, so you can see there's not a lot to it really. My coffee cup. I'm working from a laptop. Look, there's your comments there. Got a printer there. That's it. Yeah, I've got a microphone up there. And then we turn around here. View out I can't go very far with the camera. I'll go as far as I can. So you can't really see a lot. The bed. Little bit of light in there. No green screen, obviously. What else? Laundry basket. Done the laundry. That's why it's empty. A few bits, cameras and stuff up there, like every YouTuber has. Bathroom over there. That's it. Really can't show you anymore. Let's just get this back in place. Oh shit! It's fallen off. Hang on. There we are. I forgot the clip had broke. It's not connected very well. Let me just put this back. My Rode mic there. Look, I always try and hide that on the stream when everything's okay. Oh well, let's get it back where it was. Bit of greenery, bit of nature. There we are. Right, okay. Okay, guys, thank you. Oh, Jesse, mate, I'm just about to finish. I've been going for 2 hours and you're finally in. 12:16 a.m. here, Sunday morning in Los Angeles. Yeah, Jesse was the guy I did who very kindly treated me to the boat on New Year's Eve. We had a good night out, but I was telling everyone, Jesse, about the nightmare we had to try and get a taxi. Yeah, okay. Bob G, yes, I saw that news clip, Chris Card, terrible waste of precious life. Yeah. One of those guys you're talking about got arrested last night. Somebody sent me a clip. You know the guys who are hanging around Sukhumvit Road? You know what they're selling. You know what they're doing. You know who they are. Well, a couple of them have been arrested lately. One of them last night in Soy 11, according to a source not too far from me. Franco, no lady then? Well, no lady. Mazza, how you doing? Nice to see you in. 2 hours and 4 minutes. Right, guys, I'm going to knock it on the head now. I think there's some patio YouTubers starting up soon. And they'll be very entertaining. But I'm gonna. What time is it now? God, it's 3:15. I haven't eaten yet. We're gonna do something. Have a cup of coffee or something. Right, guys. Thank you very much. I've actually, believe it or not, I've really enjoyed it. So let's see. We'll do another one of these soon. I'll try and get some people in the stream with me next time, I think. But for now, have a good Sunday. And yeah, I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks, guys. All the best.